I'm going to hit go live. I'm going to stop joshing around waiting for these Kamen Rider Yahoos, these Tokusatsu Tukuses. I think some of that. I think some of that's going live to the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's tweet it.
Well,
started slightly early, but 5 of you are waiting patiently. So I don't know how many of those are people in the call right now, but there's not that many of us in the call right now, so it can't be all of them.
And we're waiting impatiently for the rest of our for these unusually scheduled streams.
Yeah.
just at them in chat again or something.
No, I prefer to be passive aggressive because Dallas doesn't care no matter what I do, and Axe will be upset no matter what I do. So it really truly doesn't matter. There is no point. I'm just gonna play synthwave, vaporwave stuff, and we're gonna pivot to the off the standby screen so y'all can see. We're gonna deal with shapes today, everybody.
Did we decide on a secondary?
I don't think we need one.
Yeah, vyylons are to tell the people. Well, actually, we got a couple of things to talk about. We do have a little bit of pre-business. So I alluded to this on Monday's stream, but if you aren't caught up on Uncharted, which if you're a regular Fail Portrayal and Prog viewer, you might not be. I assume there's some overlap with Fail Portrayal and Prog on my Master Duel streams, but I would appreciate if you watched me and Lucky play through Uncharted 4 and all the Uncharted games, but, you don't have to. But, so I would like to start by saying this stream is, not in memoriam, but in copium for our boy Loth.
Hello?
Oh, hey, you guys made it. Cool, okay.
It just ended. We
All right,
just
nice.
done.
I perfectly timed that then.
45 minutes, it's been like 42.
I perfectly timed that, and I only had to dob on you for like 60 seconds before you appeared. All right.
Yeah, you just had to say that we'd
yeah, basically, yeah. I just talked shit for like 60 seconds, and then you appeared. Good.
Bold of you to assume I care.
Funny, Dallas. Funny. The audience will get that. That's what I said. I said Dallas won't care no matter what I do.
Nice.
Bold of you to assume I'm not crying on the inside at all times.
Exactly,
Also what I said, Axe. No matter what I do, you'll be sad. So it truly did not matter.
I said that as a joke.
Yes.
Omega just really went.
Wow.
And next you will say.
Yeah,
I was making a joke because I thought
around
it'd be like a slight spin on it, but no, I failed.
But no, what I was going to say was we exist in hopium for our boy Loth, who I believe is still without power. He is experiencing some flooding in his region of Australia and has been without the electricity for several days. So even if he could be here with us tomorrow for Prague, he would not be in a mood because he's got a lot of shit to take care of, with like all this weather shit.
Understandable. He lives in Australia. It's just part of the deal.
Yeah, so we are probably going, and actually, fuck probably. It's Tuesday, I can say it. We're going to skip Prague this week. We're not going to record it this week.
We might just do
players.
Yeah, it's not just Loth.
Due to circumstances.
Well,
Yes,
you know what? That would make a perfect time for you to maybe like stream some Master Duel rank climbing or something.
Or we
like
could
I was
just
thinking,
stream
or just
We
stream
could
more,
stream
do more
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Fail
matches.
Betrayal.
Yeah, well,
We'll
we'll probably
out.
do a
We'll
mixed
figure
stream.
it out.
Like, I know Vesper is not going to be with us the full time because you also have a scheduling conflict, but we might be able to sneak in an early Fail Portrayal and continue our shape themes because we're going to do Vylons, of which there are, despite only being like 2-ish waves, there's some really weird timing stuff. But yes, as Axe said, there's a fuck ton of them. I think...
Yeah.
If I understood my timing correctly, I think Vylon Epsilon came out like way early.
No, it's that
Epsilon.
Delta.
Delta, okay.
Also,
for the sake of our sanity, I'm gonna just include that in the first wave of synchros anyway. But like, the releasing for Vylons was really weird in the TC.
Vylon Delta, one of the main decks and one of the equips came out like before Hidden Arsenal 4.
Yeah, so
aren't also like I think only.
Early.
I'm not. I might be double checking on this, but I think only like 6 of the cards are actually good. I can't remember.
Well, most of the synchros, I believe, are pretty decent, and depending on the contents, the various tuners and non-tuners are okay.
I will actually say, I find Vylons very interesting, because Vylons are one of the Hidden Arsenal decks I would say are successful at doing what they're advertised to do, because two of the three main synchros each enable a different build of a deck that are all like they were never in any tournaments, but
Like,
they were
they
all
were like
roguish
regional
playable.
viable.
Yeah, they were all roguish playable.
Yeah. And I will say that I suspect we will be having a lot of comment on this is a shape. Pass.
I would actually argue from a design standpoint that Vylons are probably the best designed of the Hidden Arsenal archetypes, just because they're good without just one of their cards being stupidly broken, and that's the only reason the deck is good.
Yeah. But
Some decks are like that.
and this is where Dallas also dabs on me because I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen I've seen like 2 Vylon cards ever.
So some of them are so Vylons are very interesting. I would say about the archetype design. You will see a couple of naming themes. So all of the extra deck ones, including the 1xCs they got tacked on, are named after Greek letters. Yes, including there is a Vylon Omega. We'll do the funny joke later. That's also the name of a set, Omega Xyz. But then most of the main decks are named after shape-related things, but some of them are just names of dudes, like Vylon Soldier.
Yeah, they're very geometric.
Yes, they have a procedural shape. I think they certainly invoke some of the more esoteric angel shapes, as somebody said, machine angels. You know,
and then there are 3 Vylons that are just different.
Yeah, there's some evil Vylons were built different. Yes.
And I think we have maybe some out of archetype stuff we might want to bring up too, because I can certainly think
a
of
couple of things. We
There's
might
one
bring back up
card I wanna
Tetra Ogre,
bring-
for instance.
I would like to bring up one because it's really funny, and Vylon made the card weirdly viable. It was a card that is literally played in no other deck.
But Vylons, there is a Vylon that I can think of that has a crossover with Gusto. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, there's a couple of crossovers mentioned. Where's my? There we go.
There's also a weird card that I would like you to bring up because it's a Vylon card that isn't a Vylon card.
Which one?
Guiding Light and Ariadne. They are designed like Vylon cards. They look like Vylon cards. They are not Vylon cards.
Do they read like Vylon cards though?
No, they read like Counter Fairy cards.
Ah.
But if you look at Guiding Light, it is a Vylon card.
Well, but
That came out way later. Ariadne's old. We might I'll write those in the list for some
Isn't
notes.
Ariadne a pendulum card?
Yes, but I'm saying design-wise.
But
Like, if you look at the card, it is a...
Oh, you mean specifically Guiding Ariadne? Okay.
Yeah, Guiding Ariadne, not any of the other ones.
But yeah, also
yeah, these got some Vylon
Omega
vibes. I'll put them in my notes.
If Omega wants to pencil in that Gusto monster, it's Daigusto's Freeze.
We may or may not mention it, like we might
Yeah.
also re-mention Tetra Ogre from Gishki.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put a capstone on the shape notes where, like I said, tomorrow will be a little up in the air, but at the very least we can probably reconvene for at least some fail portrayal and probably add cubics to that because, aesthetically speaking, cubics are an abomination unto Ra, and mechanically speaking, cubics are an abomination unto your brain. So they are a perfect fit. As a anime movie exclusive archetype, they are a perfect fit for fail portrayal. But let's dive into Chapez.
I'll send you the card that I would like to bring up just because
As a dumb thing,
mention it in the chat.
Are cubics actually even good at things?
I believe cubics
they
are
have a combo that does things, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's good.
I mean, they're a decent stall engine. The thing is, like a lot of archetypes, cubics are good at not playing the way that Konami designed them to play.
Right.
If you play them as a fuck-off annoying stall archetype, they're decent. But...
So, wow, damn.
Yeah.
There's a... Sorry, I'm scrolling... I'm trying to scroll through the history of the world. Because it's pretty intense. With Vylons.
Amazing.
There's a lot of them. So,
Sorry,
basically...
my allergies have decided today to kill me.
So basically, what I can get is the Vylons are developed they are relics of the ancient past. During the battle against the Steel Swarms, the Constellars, who we will talk about later, developed the vyylons as a Steel Swarm impervious weapon system.
Okay.
Which may or may not have worked. But basically, when the Steel Swarms pop out, we've talked about that before. That's due to some great decisions by Noelia.
Yes.
But the Steel Swarms busted out, so because of that, Vylons woke back up. They descended from the heavens to force an armistice between the Lavals and the Gem Knights because they was fighting. And then they were like, oh shit, these Steel Swarm guys are back. We're gonna fuck your shit up. And they worked with every major... Basically, Vylon are almost like the new allies of justice, only better. Because they worked with all the existing tribes at the time to make new boys.
Isn't the
what
joke
if
more
you
of like
learned
it's
from our
actually
mistake?
the Isles of Justice, but somewhat good?
I mean, kind of. They at least did the lore-wise better because the people who are enhanced by the Vylon technology are in their own home archetypes and not their own weird lore archetypes. So it's Daigustos Freeze, Gem Knight Purismora, Ivigishi Tetrogre, and Laval Stenon. But the Steel Swarms do tickle the Vylons, and that's where those guys we talked about, the evil Vylons, come from.
I think there's only like one evil Vylon.
No, there's 4.
Oh, there is?
There's the rampaging corrupted ones, yeah. And then I think
Oh, was that Steel Swarm or L Swarm virus?
Steel Swarm.
Okay.
It's the L Swarm virus, but the Steel Swarm are
Yes.
what the Vylon are protected from.
We'll get into
So
that
the
eventually.
entry on this is the thoughts of the Steel Swarm corrupt the Vylon. Noelia, who was on the side of the Steel Swarm, had feigned her true motivations by siding with the Vylon camp, but she desired to corrupt the Vylon by assimilating with their hive mind. Her scheme succeeded.
Yes.
So actually, what basically happened
Noelia
is
the villain.
Noelia plugs her brain into the Steel Swarm and then plugs her brain into the Vylons, and this is why you should use a VPN, kids. Basically,
Yes. Firewalls are good.
don't
for
ever
exactly this
accept a
reason.
peer-to-peer share from Gishki Noelia. Basically.
I think after that, she gets free and then knows she fucked up her entire life.
There's other stuff.
Well, again, this is corrupted Noelia.
No. Actually, she fucked up everyone's lives.
Okay, but
fair
the Vylons
I
come
need-
to an end when we reach their evil forms by one of the Gem Knights. I think it's Gem Knight Pearl. Just apparently punches him a lot.
Yes.
If I understand the artwork on
It was either
Onigami
Gem Knight
Combo.
It was either Gem Knight Pearl or the big dork.
I believe it's Pearl. So let us begin now that we've given you this very lengthy recap,
Yeah.
because Vylons are actually this is why we wanted to do them. Vylons are actually a pretty big lore chunk.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
I'm pretty
say,
sure after this,
wasn't
because
Earl?
they come from going into L Swarm sometimes.
What was that, Vesper? You broke up a little bit.
Because they come from going into L Swarm sometime soon and get close to the finale on Dual Terminal.
We still have Gusto and Lovell first.
Well,
Yeah.
and Gem Knight. That's going to be a whole.
Yeah.
Well, Gem Knight.
thing.
Are we gonna do Gem Knight in Hidden Arts? I guess we have to.
I mean, yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of
It's
key.
pretty cool hidden arsenal about it.
But we should, at some point, we should do Steel Swarm, possibly our next big one, because they are kind of the baddies.
Well,
Yeah.
and it also gives us sort of previews on a lot of other archetypes because
Well,
a lot of L Swarm cards are just other archetype
no,
cards.
Omega. That's the question. Are we gonna do Steel Swarm or Ill Swarm?
Oh, actually, that is a good
Ooh.
question. Do we do Steel Swarm and do we do all of L Swarm?
Because
and
if we do
Steel
Ill Swarm,
together?
that's gonna be a minute.
And that's
Yeah.
going to be very confusing too. Anyway, let's focus on the Vylons. Let's focus on what I can solve right now.
We must
so-
construct additional Vylons.
Yes. So technically, alphabetically, this guy is not first. But this one is a main deck monster that strongly exemplifies Vylons.
Yes.
This is Cube. I really need to get a soundboard so I can do the reverb.
Oh,
effect of
also
Rada.
probably one of the most important cards in the deck.
Yeah.
Cube.
Ah.
He's a
He
cube.
looks like
With hands.
they put
Cube.
arms on what was the cube from Portal?
The weighted companion.
Companion
Yeah,
cube.
no, it is the companion cube.
I
I
mean,
love
this
the
this
design here.
was like 2011, 2010, so yeah.
I
It's
will
very-
say like it's. Oh, go.
The Vylons being angels are very like they're very much like Kabbalic Talmudic style of angels of like undefinable hypergeometry people as opposed
yeah.
to.
I mean,
naked
one
dudes
of them
with
is
wings.
it's one of the
Honestly,
evil
I-
ones, but one of the ones later is literally named Vylon Tesseract. So
But
we get
Yeah.
esoteric here.
I wanted to say like yes, these basically seem like hypergeometrically accurate angels.
No, it's I love Vylons. This is going to be the opposite of last week, where instead of complaining about the art, I'm going to be praising.
I mean,
next
I don't
week.
Like,
know
the
if
thing-
this detracts, but I want to say there's two things that jump out at me. One, those fingies are way too humanoid.
I think
Yeah,
that's the point.
those-
though.
Yeah.
The fingers are extremely detailed when they really shouldn't be.
No, see, I like that because
Well, as I
here's the
said,
thing.
I don't know if that detracts,
it
but
puts it-
they are. Woo.
It,
Well,
it
no, the
does
thing
fit
I-
in the uncanny valley for me.
No,
but-
and that's what I like. I
Yeah,
like that the Vylon art, if you look closely at it, is unsettling.
yeah.
Like, it's not. I wouldn't call the Vylon art pleasant, but I would call it good, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
no,
Yeah.
that absolutely makes sense.
Like art's not about being happy; it's about being.
Also, it
emotional.
looks like he's opening the fucking the Marvel Tesseract in his
Yes,
body.
yes.
Yeah, no. He's
yeah,
got a
no,
fucking
he's
Infinity
charging-
Stone in there.
Yeah, something like that. Charging up for a chest beam,
Well, no, it's
box beam.
it's actually a mini version of that card that you showed at the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which we will probably, because being an
Yes,
equip
that
spell
part is very
archetype,
important.
the spell traps, the actual equip spells will probably just like throw all 4 of them on screen at once because they have one
Yes.
important line of effect and then they just do normal equip spell stuff.
But that particular continuous spell is
Yeah, the
very
continuous one is very important. Yes. But yeah, so this is cube. My second detail I wanted to point out was, burb. He burb.
important.
yeah,
No, he's
yeah.
a very bird-like face.
Got a tiny little bird face.
Yeah.
Giant. Oh,
Well,
yeah, oh, yeah.
well, Omega, here's the question: is that an eye or is that a gaping hole?
don't
Well, I
even
mean,
know the
it's
answer to
what it
that.
actually is it's a die pip. I think that's the. That is actually that could be the Snake Eyes side, yeah, because 4 is 1 up. Like, if you're looking at the 4 face dead on, which we appear to be, the 1 pip is on the top. So now he doesn't have any
And-
2s on the side we're facing, seeing, but you know,
Yeah.
it's not literally a die; it's a cube. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's a weird boy. Any thoughts about how he looks before I read his effect?
I like
I mean,
it.
he is definitely a cube, and I don't dislike this design. It's just for a primer, it's generic cube with arms.
Yes.
Let's treat it as a generic.
Dallas, mute yourself when you sneeze, please.
I tried. I didn't get to the button quick enough.
Rip your ears. So Vylon Cube. By the way, in case we didn't spoil it earlier by mentioning they have Synchro monsters, this is a Synchro archetype. Even though technically it comes out fairly late in Hidden Arsenal when they started adding Xyz. But
But I would argue it's a good Synchro archetype.
Cube is a level 3 light machine tuner. So being a light tuner is actually important for some other Synchro monsters.
Yep.
And its effect is very simple. Oh, it's got 800 attack and 800 defense. So it's a little weak for a 3-star, but it is a tuna, so you mostly care about math. If this card is sent for the Synchro summon of a light monster, you can add 1 equip spell card from your deck to your hand. Yes, that is generic. All you got to do is make a light Synchro.
I don't think this was used very generically because of issues with equip spells in general,
Yeah,
but
You could.
but it is fully
It
generic
makes-
if there were any tech options out there.
I mean, I
It
can
makes-
say that there was one reason this card was ran at certain points of time. It was called Snatch Steal.
Oh, I was thinking
Yeah.
it makes me look at some of the people that do like Infernoble splashes.
well, the problem is they have better
and
equip
stuff.
searchers in archetype.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's
like
But it makes me think of stuff like that, not necessarily that specifically.
Yeah, people splash cube in weird synchro decks. In that weird state in like 2016 or something, where they decided, let's bring that shield back to 1 in this format. What could go wrong? And everyone played Hidden Armor, everyone played Vylon Cube to find ways to turbo snatch steal so they could always see it at, even though it was at 1. And then they realized,
Well, it was also.
we fucked
I'll
up.
say this: it was also run in one other weird tournament deck that no one will ever guess. So I'm just gonna say it. It was run in a variant of Psyframe to search. What is that equip spell that makes psychics pay free?
Shit, I don't remember.
That's battery cell or something.
Yeah, it's the one that makes equipment costs pay for free, and it was used to do a weird cycling thing.
Oh, telekinetic charging cell.
Yeah, I'm also Axe. Are you okay? Are you
That's
alive?
not wrong. What?
Sorry, I'm just like there was a psychic card, and I'm like surprised you didn't jump in because I'm fairly sure you know about telekinetic power cell.
I'm remembering it now you're mentioning it because I just blanked
Yeah.
for a bit
Yeah,
about
'cause
it.
they're
Well,
It's like-
telekinetic power cell was bad in normal psychics because it's only really useful for weird, dumb FTK things.
I think I tried it when
the
I
better
tried to do
the
a
better
jump
card
in.
is called it's exactly called Brain Research Lab because that
Yeah.
card gives you 2 normal summons in case you haven't read it.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I've
you know
also got
what?
one now.
You know the FTK with telekinetic charging station, right?
No.
But anyways,
You-
what's the next Vylon?
Well, no, you make Reaper Dilkus, you turn Cyberstein into a psychic, and then you equip it.
Oh, that's very
Oh.
dumb. Anyway, behold, Vylon, butt plug. Actual name Vylon Charger, but he doesn't look like any phone charger I've ever used.
I thought it was more like a wine stopper.
He uses induction to wirelessly charge.
Yeah, I could see this as a wine stopper. It's certainly got that shape to it.
Well, yeah, no, especially it's got the coils on it. Now that I think about it, I was joking at first, but no, now that it's got those coils,
And
Yeah.
the coils do have little gaps in them so it can shoot more beams, because as you can see from its butt, it does shoot beams of light from its little light pips.
Yo, is
Here
this a
we run
mage
in-
power on legs? This is this is terrible.
Yeah, here we run into the problem with Vylon cards, which we'll get to after. Yeah, I like the art. I mean, it's pretty standard. Like, I love the face in it.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a little turbine
how
face.
it just looks wrong.
In a good way.
This,
Well,
I mean,
like,
I
I
think
like
this low angle
unsettling
shot
art.
also exemplifies its creepiness, right? Because you're looking like
Yeah.
low, and you're like, okay, so it's got like a spike bottom, and then it goes up, and then oh my god, it has hands, and then you go up more, and you're like, oh my god, it's got a face. Like it's just,
Like
you think
most
you
of my-
understand what you're looking at. You're looking at a UFO, and then you're like,
Yeah, like-
shit.
Spoiler for my taste, most of my favorite designed Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes are either very creepy and off-putting, such as Vylon, Gimmick Puppet, Predaplants, a couple others, or are basically just so beautiful you can't hate them, like Spirit.
I mean, like, looking at this guy, he definitely has Be Not Afraid energy right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
Not
no, it is
afraid.
humans, do not fear me.
I'm here to charge your phones.
Oh,
By the
God,
way,
why did I counter?
because Vylon is very weird, like 90% of them are machines. But Charger is a fairy. This is a fairy.
Yes.
Let him in. He's a fairy.
I can tell you the problem with this card.
Well, do you want me to read its effect text first?
Oh, sure.
So this is a level 4 light fairy with 1k attack, 1k defense. I believe all Vylons that are not tuners are level 4 also, so you can do easy math. And it has a very simple effect. All face-up light monsters you control gain 300 attack for each equipped card equipped to this card.
As I said, a bad mage power on legs.
So this is the thing about Vylons. And it's actually a good thing if you really think about it, because it is a sense of Konami understanding how to design cards better. Because none of the non-tuner Vylon monsters are ever used in Vylon decks, because all of the Vylon synchros say 1 Vylon tuner and 1 light monster, or just monster.
Yeah.
Well, and like, I bring this up a lot for a devil's advocate as far as effects, because like, as much as I am the meta player, I still like running jank bullshit, and this card definitely feels like something that could be made into some like Vylon equip OTK shit. but it would not be good and it would be terrible.
Well, yeah. Most of the thing is like
this would be a
we'll get into
swarm field type effect.
We'll get into it when we get. We'll get into it when we get to their continuous spell. But the deck is basically built around that spell.
I would also like to point out that, I mean, so this thing accounts for its own effect, so it can get quite swole, but its effect caps out at, if you're using your entire back row for field spells, its effect caps out at plus 1,500. You have we've seen 2 vylons so far. Both of them, for their levels, had tiny baby stats. Like, this thing, on its pure effect alone, this thing gets up to only 2,500.
No, generally the cards you would run in Vylon, as someone who has built a Vylon deck outside of progression, generally cards you run in Vylon are some of the 10E cards, some of the, what's that one card? Photon Charger, like things that inherent summon and you can summon a tuner, because the basic line is go into a Synchro, activate an equip spell, and do lots of things.
Yeah. Like as far as equip spells, even like I guess we just get into this now because it's critical to the archetype. The Vylon equip spells have an effect where if they're popped, they search a Vylon card, correct?
No, they search a Vylon spell card, I believe.
Vylon spell card.
So let's pull up Vylon.
Yeah, you should also pull up.
Can't they also equip some of their monsters?
You should also pull up the card I sent you because this is vital to the combo.
Sure. I'll squeak it into the art as well. So let's.
Is that the equip? Yeah.
Give me a second because I've got to pull up 4 of these in. I was not quite prepared to go to this jump. I got to pull up 4 or 5 of these cards at once.
The problem with Vylon is like their gimmick. It's like the equip spells are important to most of their like combos that happen.
Hopefully that's not too.
And like we already saw it with Cube where he adds an equip spell.
Yeah.
And traditionally you would do weird shit like Snatch Steal and other like combo cards if they were available to you that were just broken equip spells that were unsearchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except that hidden armory exists and thus all equip spells are searchable.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with hidden armory though is you can't use the card the turn you search it, correct?
I think it's something else. Hold on.
You're also going to have to activate this card. That's what.
I think it was in Grand Creators as a reprint.
Yeah, no.
You cannot normal summon or set the turn you activate the card, and it requires you to summon the top from deck.
Yeah.
But
the other card you should bring up is Element, because that is the deck.
So let's see how many of these boys I can get in there. This is like that time we did. Like I put all the evil heroes on screen at once.
Evil heroes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, with most of these arts, there's not much going on.
No, yeah. I planned when I wrote these out, like, all 4 of the Vylon equip spells are all in, like, a single line in my note document, because they all do slightly different things, but the key thing is the effect text they all share, right? So, we can... that doesn't work.
Okay, I will try and mute. I'm sorry.
I do not. I know it's not your fault. It's your body. It's your body being. It's just your body being your body. But god damn it, man, it's frustrating.
No, I understand. It's my body saying "fuck you." No, I know what I should do. I should put myself on push to talk for a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably gonna work.
That's what I do.
Okay, that was.
Well, it's just sometimes when I'm on for like long streams, it just gets annoying. But
segment is the last one. So all of you can see what we're dealing with here with Vylons, which is just Vylon stuff.
I mean, like, there's not much to talk about them, but I will say they have huge sci-frame energy to them. If they came first, but this is some sci-frame ass energy happening.
Yeah.
So this is our last equipped spell.
Also, maybe
Which is funny because they're both
energy.
They're both Synchro archetype.
Oh, fuck! Can't counter those.
Okay, that one, and then Rod of Rod. Rod. I have a lot of tabs open now, guys. When the fuck did this come out? Christ, that's a weird card. I think this exemplifies, though, what we're talking about with Rod of Silence. Because Dallas is right, this was very key in Vylons, but also it's just hilarious because this was a, like, piece of shit import card that was brought into, like, Dark Revelation Volume 1.
And it only works in Vylon because it has bad PCST. Like, if Konami ever fixes it, it might actually kill Vylon's viability, which is hilarious.
And then...
How so? Because I mean, looking at Renaissance Chaos, even with that problem-solving card text, equip spells still target a card to equip it.
The important line is destroy. The fact that it destroys the card.
You're saying that it doesn't need to
The
say
game
destroy
is
them.
pretty common, so I don't see that as an issue.
Well, the problem is that if you negate the other spell effects, if you negate an equipped card, but don't destroy
Well,
it still stays on the field.
No, it falls off.
Oh, okay.
It will count as sent.
So that
This
would
is
be-
honestly like.
I mean, I don't think this is bad PCST, Dallas, but definitely this is something where Konami wasn't thinking about the
Oh yeah.
loop
Or-
potential of this
or
phrase.
it was a card
'Cause-
that we got like super late.
I'm
way
also-
after.
No, this
100%.
card's from like this card appeared in like Dark Crisis sometime in
Yeah.
the middle of
Okay.
nowhere.
I'm also 100% sure that the reason no one actually, because I think at the time they were released, Vylons could have gone to tournaments, but no one ever figured this out back in the day.
Well, yeah, because
So it
fucking
never
Rod of
went.
Silence is obscure as hell.
Yeah.
Who
But
would've-
I
who
will
would've
say-
looked at Rod of Silence and said, "This is broken in Vylons" when Vylons came out.
I
But
mean,
to,
also
to mention what well, we'll talk there because that's the oldest one. Rod of Silence KS. It's from Dark Crisis. From like in the North American set, like 2003, and then was reprinted in like Dark Rev, and then interestingly enough, as a common around the time Vylons came out in Legendary Collection 3, Yugi's World. Probably what may have put this on people's radar for Vylons. And as we discussed, this is a normal, just vanilla equip spell. The equipped monster gains 500 defense. Negate spell effects that target the equipped monster, and if you do, destroy that spell card. So, yeah, basically, it's a very simple negate and destroy effect. Any other spell effect that targets the monster this card is equipped to is negated and thus destroyed.
Well, and for reference, we're not going to get on this tangent because it's a full archetype. This is part of the weird anime Guardians that are fake and bad.
I don't even think we should bother talking about Guardians. And
I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bring
To
them
be
up.
fair
It's
to the
for-
guard, to be fair to
for
the
reference of the context of this card, this is not a random. generic
This is
spell
from
that
the.
exists.
This
It
is
was part of
technically
another
from this.
archetype.
Yeah, this is technically from the same archetype as other bullshit spell cards you may remember, such as Butterfly Dagger Elma and Twin Swords of Flashing Light Trice. Which you
And
also use to do
honestly,
dumb stuff.
a surprising amount of Guardian cards have found homes in other decks as good cards. Like
I think
Yatos
it's
in
because
the deck-
because for the equip spells, Konami did the smart thing and made the spells generic. So you get to,
and
for the most part.
the spells being generic actually makes them super handy if there's a deck that is broken by what the card does.
It's just literally all of the monsters other than Guardian Yatos have never seen any playable.
It's because
ever.
they're dog shit. They're high rarity, and they
Yeah.
need to be like special summoned by tributing a guy who's equipped with their own thing. And it's like, why would I do that? These equip spells are way better. Next up, let's explain what Vylon Element does. This is cornerstone to this strategy, and it came out in the first.
Yes.
Actually, no, this came out in the second blob. This was in
Well-
Omega Xyz, but still, this is the engine the deck is built on.
Yes.
And for reference, Element is this one down here. Let me make sure that you can see my cursor.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is the
that one.
Vylon boom tube, because yes, that does look
Yeah.
like a boom tube.
Or the Vylon Stargate, or whatever you want to call it.
The
So,
boom tube, you're older. And
this is a continuous spell.
Stargate come out?
I don't know, the original movie of Stargate's pretty old, but boom tubes are probably older because
They're
comics
the
are
60s, I know
really
that.
old.
Yeah, it's from like the original era of Kirby.
Old gods, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a continuous spell that reads, when a face-up Vylon equipped cards you control are destroyed, except during the damage step, you can special summon an equal or lower number of Vylon tuner monsters from your deck. They cannot be used as Synchro material monsters except for the Synchro summon of a vyylon Synchro monster. Now, normally, y'all, well, I mean, okay, this card has two parts of it, and the archetype locking, we would normally be like, this is bad. But wait, there's a shitload of vyylon Synchro monsters, and they're actually good, which means this card is very good because it does what? Summons from deck.
Yeah, and it also, it basically allows you to go down the 3 different paths of Vylon. Like, you can build your deck around the 3 Synchro archetypes. And it enables the deck, basically, because you can infinitely cycle them, because all of the Vylon equip spells cycle for another equip spell.
Yeah, so all you can see... let me see, I think I did this in the order. So it should be... component, filament, material, segment. All 4 of them, sorry, have a, well, I think they have 2 key pieces of text. It can only be equipped to a Vylon monster, and then their last effect is always, if this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Vylon spell card from your deck to your hand. So they all replace themselves, and then they all have various effects. Component gives you piercing. How did I close the tab on filament? I don't even know where that one is. I'll just search it.
I believe the ones that are usually run at 3 are prototype and...
so filament gives you the Armada's effect. Can't activate spell traps until the end of the damage step.
Yep.
Material is
ancient
the
gear,
one.
yeah. Material gives you 600 attack, just straight up. And segment can't be targeted by monster or trap effects.
Yeah. But material can all. The important part is material. I believe can also. They can all search. Elements as well.
Yes, because it's just a Vylon spell. By the way, Vylons don't have any traps. They have no legacy support, so probably because, as Dallas noticed, they were fairly good. Also, yes, there's no once per turns at all. Vylon element is whenever your Vylon, your equip spells are poppled, do the thing. You summon tuners.
Yes.
And that's why KS is very important, because you can stack like 4 equip spells on a guy, you play KS and it pops and you can summon 3. Or you do it 1 at a time, however you feel like for your combos.
And it does not... the other thing is, it does not lock you into Synchro summoning. It locks you into Vylon Synchros.
Yes.
So you can still link summon, I believe.
Yeah, for modern Vylon, you can still link summon, and also relevant at the time this came out in 2012, you can still Xyz summon. And remember, as I said, they have a variety of levels. I think all the non-tuners are 4, and you need a Vylon non-tuner on the field to get started. I think there's also probably a 4-tuner. You can make 4s, you can make 3s. There's a lot of dumb stuff you can do with this.
There's a 4-tuner, and there's also a 4 union.
Yeah, 1.
Well,
So
you
the
know, they
reason
have an equip theme.
Or tuner. Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
So this is the Vylon strategy cornerstone.
Generally, the strategy was summon a monster that either summons for free or summons with summons another monster with it. Like what's that? Trident Warrior was a good one because it summons a level 3 light tuner. Hey, what's Vylon Cube? Then Synchro into Delta, go search KS with Cube, and then get the ball rolling. Because, Vylon...
That's wrong. I want this one.
Vylon could have done it, but it was being shuttered by... what were the meta decks at the time? Was this Plant Synchro?
No,
or was this,
I genuinely think if they had figured it out when this was come out, they would have been a viable deck.
It was probably just not because the KS reprint wouldn't have happened until after all of these cards came out. I think it was like late 12.
And I think like right after that,
so
the
just
windups
getting
came
into
out.
Dino Rabbit then?
Yeah,
yeah.
Windup and Dino Rabbit happened.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
And this would have been either just before. Yeah, this would have been just before, I think, Dragon Ruler as well, which is bullshit.
The next couple of formats in Yu-Gi-Oh are I don't.
Well,
care
I mean,
what
we'll
Sino,
say this.
I don't
Like,
care
this
what
is
Sino
post.
says.
This is
I
post
think-
Teledad.
I think Dragon Ruler format is the worst format in Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it's worse than the Wind Up Hornet.
Really?
The Wind Up
I
Injector.
can
format.
agree. like there have been a lot of decks that have dominated metas. For what you have to say about that,
Vesper is still very
You're,
sketchy.
you're breaking up there.
You need to find where your tin can is screwed on, Vesper.
Yes, find your loudener.
I'm just gonna turn them within 70 for a second, but and then figure it out later.
It's fair
But
Yeah.
the thing with Dad is that pre-Teledad, Dad was just in every deck, and there were so many different decks that actually played the format. It was just also you played a Dad package because it was Dad. Dad was the best card in the game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until Teledad where it became, oh, there's no other deck that competes against this. And while that was unfun and almost killed Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Rulers were way more unfun of a format for the fact that there was just way more you could do with them. Because you had Xyzes and Synchros and so much more bullshit to play with the deck that it just had way more stuff it could do.
Well, and I think that's why you can see right like while. So, I'm pretty sure Dad was actually Dark Armed Dragon, who we've talked about before, was actually banned at some point. The big card that like was got and stayed got for a long time out of Teledad was E-Telly.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, we
E-Telly
only
was
just...
the big hit out of Teledad that has stayed that way. Whereas for Dragon Rulers, it was the cards that have stayed banned are the 3 Dragon Rulers who are kind of the busted ones.
Yeah, I mean, it was to the point where we got E-Telly unlimited at some point, and then other cards still got it hit again.
No,
and we only got it unlimited again.
E-Telly got unbanned in the middle of Dragon Ruler format, actually.
Well, it got in the middle of Dragon Ball format, and it wasn't until exactly the
Cosmo.
Monarch Super Quantum bullshit. Where,
No, it was Cosmo.
It was a lot of things, and like.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
since
we're in that era of Prague, I'm pretty sure the Super Quant and the Cosmo era are simultaneous.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But
It was
also,
Cosmo Super
but
Quantum
we're
Monarch.
in a we are currently Yu-Gi-Oh is in the middle of for our Prague era in the mid pendulum. Mid pendulum. We'll say
Yeah.
mid pendulum. The
Yeah.
mid pendulum era is in a
It's still
psychic
pendulum right now,
revolution.
but because we're only just getting to the point where pendulums are good decks.
Boy, are they! But let's say goodbye to these Vylon Greebles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greebles.
and
But
then
yeah, no,
so this
just
is
to-
another one of those guys they just randomly released in a core set.
Oh yeah, just
This is
I guess-
Vylon
I guess it's the last thing for just all the equip bits of like, I think the what I wanted to say is that if it was animated, I could see them like be attached to Vylons.
Yeah, that's why I call them Vylon
Yeah.
Greebles. They just look like bits that go on them.
Yeah.
If you bought the Vylon model kit, those would be like on a bonus.
Oh
sprue
yeah,
you
for sure,
get.
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
this is
Vylon model kit.
Ohm. I'm gonna look if there's any
Vylon-
trivia for why it's called Ohm, but it is in Japanese. It is Vyron Omu.
As in like the
measuring
measurement of
electrical
resistance.
resistance?
Yeah, as in like
I
the measurement of
think
electricity.
so, but I will double check if there's any trivia.
Well, no, I'm pretty
Nice.
sure Ohm is actually a Greek.
Well,
Yes,
it
Ohm is the
it's
SI
just
unit
that,
of electrical
like,
resistance, which is written as Omega, just like the uppercase Omega.
Yes.
So maybe this was their way of saying Omega without it being Omega. But Ohm is named after a guy, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think it's because that supposedly it looks like that Ohm as a symbol is also the Omega, even though there's also another Omega. Like
I
as
assume
far
they
as
knew they
Vylon
wanted to
cards.
do the like Greek names as the synchros, so they just did this guy as a baby Omega.
Yeah.
which is it's probably what was intended. But
Yeah. I mean, so
probably
it's got kind of
using
that curvy horseshoe shape. I don't know why it has a shield for a butt, but he's got big laser hands that still have
So
fingies.
if
Still
this
have
is
useless
Vylon Ohm-
fingies.
This is Vylon Ohm. Where's Vylon Mega?
Yeah, pretty good one. Let's see. But anyway,
I'll be real. I was expecting the
place.
Silence David to be kicked from the call.
no, it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't
I know I'm saying that would have like
I like
I would have sold the joke, but
Well, I don't have notification sounds turned on, so it doesn't work as an audio joke. Because I record the show and we have like patrons drop in, so I can't. I have like Discord sounds turned off.
gotcha. But
It would have been a
sold the
great joke. I should maybe I need to put that on my soundboard, just the Discord disconnected sound. The equivalent of the old TeamSpeak, a user has left your channel. Is there anything to say
God,
about the art
Team
of Ohm?
I mean, I do like that he still has fingers peeking out of his little
Yeah,
hand
I mentioned
cannons.
that.
Oh yeah.
He's got
Oh
little
my god, this
fingers.
reminds me of some weird like if they wanted to make like an Angel Man and Mega Man or some shit.
He has tiny little angry eyes and his weird tube face.
Tin hat.
Because that image of it, like the fucking like, because this feels like what like a Robot Master's like blaster hands would be like or something.
Yeah, I mean, it does have some Mega Man vibes because of like the fucking Buster cannons. attached
Yeah,
to
no,
his
this
arm.
guy, like, absolutely, this guy would be called Angel Man, and he would be like Astro Man, where he has that fucking, or Flash Man, where he just does a stun lock on you, or does like a big whole screen attack, like a fucker.
And the weapon you get is like halos you throw.
Yeah, or something. That's like his default attack, is he throws rings at you. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, what does Mr. Ohm do?
So Mr. Ohm is a level 4 light fairy. As I said, not the tuna. Has 1500 attack, 200 defense. So again, tiny baby stats. But if this card is normal summon, target one equipped spell card in your graveyard, banish that target, and if you do, add it to your hand during the next standby phase. So
that's slow as shit.
Yeah, it's slow, but this card was released in 2011 in Photon Shockwave, so like...
Yeah, I mean, like, for that time frame, it's not terrible. Plus, it's generic, so like we said, you can banish Snatch Steal, or Rod of Chaos, or whatever combo piece you need.
Yeah. It's a generic recycling. It's slow. It does say your next standby phase, but actually, I'll ask the team. Does this still, because it's, if you do add it to your hand during the next standby phase, that's all at that point, right? Like, this guy doesn't have to be on the board to get it back in the standby?
No.
No, it shouldn't be a lingering effect a la Last Will and other such shit.
So once the spell is banished, you will get it back. So you can then sink this away and recycle your spells. It's slow, but keep in mind that I'm pretty sure Moth was still banned at this point. Recycling spell traps was not easy.
This card is actually played in one of the three variants of ylon. It's played in the stun control variant.
Yes, no. If you slow the game to a crawl,
stun, you don't really care. You're probably gonna try. The game's gonna last more than.
Yeah, if you don't let your opponent do anything, and then you're just recycling.
Spoiler: that version of the deck plays Mystic Mine.
Makes sense.
Of course it does.
No.
Well, you have a not to give a small spoiler for the future. You have a Synchro with recyclable Omni negatives.
Okay, this is this is gonna be an interesting one. So we're gonna leave the area of I got my pen out still. We're gonna leave the area of the normal naming and kind of a little bit some of the normal design conventions. This is one of the early boys. This is Vylon Soldier. Yes, just Vylon Soldier.
Soldier.
Hey, he looks like a generic. Like, he looks Vylon-y enough, but also generic enough that I can buy that.
Why does he look like a Utopia card?
Oh my god, he looks like one of like the VW monsters.
He looks like a lot of things. He has Konami orbs, guys.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not that bad because
he's only got a
feels
few, and they're purple.
No, it's still the Amethyst from Gemini to Amethyst.
Oh, also, we haven't commented about the color scheme, but that's because it's good. Like, these guys are usually gold and white, which is very good for light monsters, angelic themes, and then most of them have had kind of a light green accent. This guy has a purple accent. Both of those work with the color palettes, I think.
I just thought of it, but tell me if this not combined with other Vylons would make a big Vylon mech? Because this feels like
this
part.
absolutely feels like a combiner. The way his lower torso is just a single spike.
And
like,
how he has pauldrons that look like a toad top or something.
He looks like there is a Vylon legs out there somewhere that slots into that bottom half.
And like other arms and maybe a head.
Yeah.
They are Synchro archetype.
We also have no sense of scale, but this guy just feels bigger than everyone else.
Omega, you overestimate the Euclidean-ness of the design of the Vylon Synchros. What do you mean legs?
True, I mean, but that's what he looks like, right? With that spike, it looks like there's a lower body that slots in there. Also, yes, Vesper, I think you have a good. I think it's the proportions. Like, look at the size of his head, and then look how huge his forearms are.
Well, no.
And then
the thing about it is, it's just this. I think I looked it up. All of the Vylons are fucking huge.
I do believe
Well,
yes.
I'm
Like
sure they
they're
are,
all
but,
gigantic.
Like if you show me just the artworks of this guy next to the Synchros, he would fit in, because the
But no,
Synchros
even like
are
Cube and
enormous.
stuff.
The Synchros have the same sense of scale as Soldier, even though I'm sure
Well,
Cube is also
So
enormous.
here's the other thing too.
Vylons are one of those archetypes similar to Monarchs, where until you see a picture of them next to normal stuff, you don't really understand how big these things
Well,
are.
I believe some of the smaller tuner boys are actually like, I mean, they're person-sized, but they're not huge because you can see them split up into components on other monsters.
Mm-hmm.
This guy looks like he's enormous, though.
Well, yeah, no, and it doesn't help that they've got him against a skyline background, clouds below him. Like,
Oh, yeah,
you don't
no,
have you don't have anything to scale against him.
Yeah.
And you haven't for most of the arts we've seen.
Yes, that's
so
true.
far.
Most of them have a dynamic background of being heavenly from the skies. So,
Yeah,
Violent Soldier is
what does this man do, and while I'll be disappointed about him not being as huge as he looks like he is.
Well, compared to other Vylon main deck monsters, he's pretty swole. This is a level 4 fairy who has 1,700 attack and 1k
Oh,
defense.
that's basically Vorse Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, this is a very fun... You're meant to be attacking with this soldier. When this card declares an attack, you can target a number of monsters your opponent controls up to the number of equip cards equipped to this card. Change those targets' battle positions.
That can have uses.
Well, I mean, if you're playing pure main deck with the equips, remember there's an equip that makes you untargetable by traps, and there's an equip that gives you piercing. There's also other equips that do other things. Like, it's not... In concept, he's not bad. He absolutely lives or dies by how many violent equip spells you've got handy.
He also lives
The
or dies by, like,
the other problem is
what's your board state that's letting you OTK?
Vylon has a way better OTK attacker.
Yeah, no.
That is a Synchro. That actually has a fairly broken effect that I think actually has prevented Konami from printing certain cards.
So, we have one more main decky boy in the first wave, who is also goes with our same theme as Soldier. Let me pull up his art here, because this is the Vylonius Vanguard. I'm Soldier, but slightly more curved.
Ah.
Yeah,
this looks
I
like
this one a
smaller
little
model.
bit less.
This one looks like a Final Fantasy VIII boss.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure,
Yeah.
I see Alexander here.
For this scale, he seems way smaller than Soldier because of the proportions.
Yes.
Honestly, how I image this is like we have Soldier as like the big thing, and then there's like 6 of these for each one Soldier.
Probably. That might be the intention, but I'm sure they're all like vaguely the same size of fuck off enormous.
His proportions, though, are much more manageable. My concerns are, how does he accomplish anything? Does he have a ball joint in his arms? Because, like, look at those curves. All he can do is pick up a box and carry it. How does he do anything?
I mean, his arms like might be in that position, but like his shoulders are like free joints.
Maybe his arms are fluid.
That's true. His shoulders are socket joints, so he's got a lot of articulation, at least up and down.
But also, you forget the fact that fighting a war is logistics is very important.
But remember, he's a Vanguard.
To reference Soldiers,
he's not vylonwavee.
This guy looks like his arms pop off in part of the combining.
Yeah, no, they absolutely look like they're a separate piece. I mean, I want to throw this out there. Just, Loth is not here. I have to say it for my boy. He's got grabby hands. Look at those hands.
That is definitely like those fingers are like.
I was imaging he like grabs and restrains the enemy.
But
that's why I went with the logistics thing, was because I wanted to get away from those grabby hands.
Nope. Can't. The hands are all this guy really has going for him. So this
Dave,
is another level 4 light fairy with 1,400 attack and 1,000 defense. So yes, he is literally smaller than Soldier. And hey, guess what? Unlike Soldier, he's not supposed to live. When this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card for each equip card that was equipped to this card. So on the one hand, this guy does say draw. On the other hand, why would your opponent destroy him by card effect then?
Also, you're negating
doesn't it not say opponent's card effect?
Yes,
just
true.
part of
You
it.
can blow it
Part of
up your own
yourself,
guy,
but-
but then you have
So
to blow
then
up your
you're
own guy.
-2 to.
Well, no, because if you have him equipped with Vylon equipped spells, they all search themselves.
Yeah, but those are basically just replacing themselves. So you're killing him with a card effect. You're killing him. So,
Yeah, so
there's your
you-
-2 in order to cycle your. spells equipped
It depends on how many equip spells you got on him. It's just, I don't think it seems very efficient. I get what they're going for,
Yeah.
but like...
You can also do stuff with it, like not
I'm
necessarily.
sure that he enables some bullshit.
I
Like,
guess the question is, what's the preferred way to pop him? Like, how do you pop your own boy?
You know what? Actually, Fire King violence was a thing at some point. That's probably why.
Okay,
That's probably
yep,
why.
that's fair. You know?
Okay. Yep,
No,
that's
there
facts.
there
I
is
was-
also
I was
a
gonna say-
variant. There's also a variant of Vylons that has played some of the Unchained links.
That's also fair.
like-
I would like to point out, this is important for like if you're trying to make modern Vylon hybrid decks, because Vylons have never gotten legacy support. They do not have a field spell that does everything. They have a continuous spell that does their whole ass combo, but they don't have any
Actually,
field
I
spell
wanna-
to make them good.
I
so.
want to ask, I guess, the prog squad here. What do you think the field spell would be here?
Oh, actually,
Man,
I don't even know.
no.
You already get to summon from deck, and your
brain
spells cycle
trust.
themselves.
Would it be something that lets you like recycle equip spells?
Maybe search equips.
Something like that.
If it would definitely be violent.
Violent
because,
I would say
um,
probably the
they
best one
do
is
happen
actually
to
what I
go.
think you need in this deck so far is you need search-specific monsters.
Hmm.
So it would probably be when you activate, add a Vylon, like a level 4 or lower Vylon, even though that's all
Probably
of them,
Vylon Tuner then.
Actually, here's
Yeah.
an idea.
Cube.
to your
Every time
hand.
you activate, once per turn, if you activate a equip spell, search a level 4 or lower Vylon. If you summon a level 4 Vylon,
It's
search
much
a
more
Vylon
efficient if
equip
it's you would want it on a you would
I
want it to do
think I would-
multiple things. You'd want it to have an effect on activation, and then
Yeah.
another thing, which probably like whenever you synchro summon a light synchro monster, you can add an equip spell from
Yeah.
your graveyard to your hand or something dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would probably call it Vylon Construction Zone.
But yeah, so like
I mean, the current equip spell they're running is Mystic Mine, so.
yeah, I think Vanguard has some potential because he says to draw cards, but it's like, why? You can
I
just
mean,
you
yeah.
can just draw. I mean, I think
It's more that he has a good effect. It's just it's not good unless you're abusing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of
And-
those things where your opponent has to usually buy into it, or you have to set up a separate engine probably to make it work.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do? Use Raigeki Break, neg yourself even further?
No, I mean at the time it's like I guess probably the smart thing would be I believe you could play like 1 TT still when this came
What's
out.
that
Like
stupid Mechlord card that is literally just a trap card that says destroy one of your monsters?
Something like Backlord Black.
okay, so we're gonna get into our first 3
Through
synchros.
their
I'm glad we can get a nice look at this guy with some clean art.
You know,
it's called
Mechlord's-
Next Time to Blast. Target one Mechlord monster you control and one card your opponent controls. Destroy them.
No. There's a different card that is literally its only effect is it's not called Mechlord, but they made it for Mechlords. Its literal only effect is destroy one face-up monster you control.
So this
Interesting.
is
spell. I know that card's like something army or something. Also,
this
kinda cool.
is Vylon Delta.
This looks like actually kind of intimidating.
Yeah, as I said, I'm
yes.
glad we got a clean up close art of this boy because and I want to say
those-
Weirdly enough.
well, yeah, I think Dallas is going to mention this guy came out way early. This is the guy
Yeah.
from Storm of Ragnarok as a
And
secret
also,
rare.
weirdly enough, he is the non-boss mon. Like, you know how I said the 3 main synchros each have their own archetypes? This is the generic support one that goes in each of them.
So
I'm
obviously,
reading
as
the
we said
effect right now.
earlier,
it's a little sussy, but it's not bad. It's
He
just
looks,
weird.
So
he looks like he's just gonna punch me.
yeah, he's pretty swole. So as we said, the synchros are named after Greek letters. So this is Delta, the triangular one. Greek letters are also usually used for a lot of scientific notation. Delta's used
Yep.
for a couple of different things. I mostly know about
Yeah.
Delta V, which is like your velocity over time and space, but that's because I'm a huge nerd.
Yeah,
Uh,
Delta being changed. Yeah.
You use a lot of things. I like his red orbs and his red crystals. They're like adding the red to this as opposed to the like softer greens or purples makes him look very sinister and very much like Like this is you kick over a Vylon who looks like a trash can, and then this guy shows up and glows red, and you realize you fucked up.
This is very clearly the Uriel of the group, to use a theological metaphor.
Also,
this is the flaming sword of God.
Well, it's funny you mention that because I'm pretty sure his butt is a space-based kill laser. Like, look at the vertical god rays and look at how his crystalline spike butt is arranged. That is absolutely a gun. That's the fucking castle in the sky beam from Lapida.
Yeah, no. Hilariously, though, you almost always summon this guy in defense position to start your combo.
Yeah, no, because if you go to his stats, he has 1,700 attack.
Yeah, he's got a fat butt. It's weird.
And 2,800 defense, so he is swole as hell, but he is not designed to hit you. He is designed to stop.
Yeah, I will say I think the art is a little weird for the stats they decided to use, but yeah. So this is a level 7 light fairy synchro, so pretty easy to make, as evidenced by Cube is one of your first tuners, and all your non-tuners in archetype are 4s. So 1,728, as we said. His materials are 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner light monsters. You don't even need a Vylon tuner for this.
And you're usually doing the 4s. Is that a little harder, or do you like level modulate?
Cube is a 3.
No. Cube is a 3.
Also, you don't even need fucking Cube. Any level 3 tuner and one of your Vylons works, or any level 4 light monster. This guy is almost completely generic.
Well, in a Vylon deck, generally it is.
All of your non-tuner Vylons are 4s. It's your tuners that are all various levels, but there are
generally the way you
1 or 2.
Yeah, as I said, your non-tuners are
the way 4s. You build Vylons is usually a bunch of generic 4s that either summon a monster or special summon themselves, and then all of the suite of the Vylon tuners to do various level fixing things. Because generally, one of the Vylons has one non-tuner Vylon as material. You don't use a main deck monster for that. You use one of the synchros, because it's also fucking huge.
So what Delta's effect is, if this card is in face-up defense position during your end phase, which pretty easy to do, it's got a fat butt anyway, you can add 1 equipped spell card from your deck to your hand. Now, it's a little slow because it is your end phase, but it's generic. Once again, you make this, like, if nothing else, this can be your turn 1 play if you can make it work, and you just go, all right, I sit.
Well, I'm sure another thing is, I haven't read all the tuners. So imagine he's sometimes just a synchro climber.
Yeah, no, he is a synchro climber, and if you didn't open cast or a way to search it, a search for cast.
And I think that our only tuner in the first batch was Cube, but we're gonna see more in our second wave.
And he's got enough defense that your opponent is gonna have to.
I mean, for a level 7 synchro, yeah, he's got a fat booty. Like, that'll stop a Goyo, that'll stop a unboosted Colossal Fighter, that'll stop Stardust. It won't. I mean, effect-wise, it won't stop Black Rose. But
a turn or 2.
The only thing it doesn't stop is Red Dragon Archfiend.
But yeah, well, that's because nothing really stops that guy if you're in defense.
Yeah, this guy is one of the 2 big stars of Tempo Vylon and Control Vylon.
I can understand why.
Well, but also, David, the thing is, he's in defense, so he's never stopping Red Dragon Archfiend.
Oh yeah, no.
So.
Thank you for explaining the joke.
Epsilon.
The weird one.
I was gonna say, what did I use Epsilon for? I know I had to use the letter Epsilon for something in.
I will say this one has kind of like early Synchro era designs where it actually looks like it's a combination of monsters.
Where's my uglies book?
Well, the other one looks like it's such a thing that used the material to make its own self. This one actually feels like it's a combination of some of them.
Well, let's see. In mathematics, you use it for calculus and stuff. In computer science, it represents an empty string. In physics, it is permittivity. Interesting. In planetary science, epsilon denotes axial tilt. Interesting. You basically, it seems like there's a lot of, anytime you would use an E, because, hey, in case you don't know, epsilon, it's literally just E. Like, uppercase epsilon is a capital E.
Yeah, I just see a lot of that.
Epsilon is the tempo boy. This is the tempo deck star.
Here's my uglies.
Spoiler. He was bad for a time, but because of how modern Yu-Gi-Oh works, he's actually decent again now.
So, anything we want to say about this boy? I will say I don't think he's quite E-shaped enough.
I think he's the weakest design-wise of the synchros. I still think he's cool, but
I mean, I'll say I think he's not abstract enough. Like his weird E-leg like centaur body is almost like
he doesn't look enough like a doomsday device.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like his bottom half is too normalized. It's like, oh yeah, he's got like a weird E-leg thing with like hover crystals in it. Why does he have that? It looks janky and slow.
He's too fairy and not angel.
Yeah. I mean, I like his like face design and his big swooping like head crest thing, but like other parts of him are way too orderly, and it's like this guy doesn't look freaky deaky enough.
But no, he's good. He's
Maybe
pretty
I'm
good.
thinking of normal E.
So, ꯚylon Epsilon is a light fairy synchro, level 8, with 2,800 attack and 1,200 defense. He requires 1 light tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. So as you can see, they kind of pivoted a little bit with the ڤylon requirements. This takes a light tuner and then any non-tuner monster. So you can make that work with a wide variety of cards, including synchro climbing. You can, I haven't looked at the future, but do we have a level 1 tuner in ヴylons?
There
Yes,
is a
we
level
do.
1 and a level 4 tuner.
Okay, yeah. So there's a couple of easy lines to make this guy work.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Zed said it very good in chat. He looks like a scooter. That's my problem. He looks like a
Although,
scooter.
to be fair, their level 4 tuner is very, very weird.
Like, look at he's got like a giant ring handlebar. Like, just imagine like a giant gem knight surfing him like a razor scooter.
Wow.
Doot, going to war. So, equip cards equipped to this card. Say that 3 times fast. Cannot be targeted by cards or effects. Once per turn, you can send 1 equip card equipped to this card to the graveyard. Target 1 monster your opponent controls. Destroy that target. So, yeah, this guy protects equip spells equipped to him, which is probably pretty annoying. And once per turn, you can send an equip card he has equipped to him to pop a guy. Now, you may think that's an anti-synergy.
They're not limited to spells, and we'll get into that later.
Now, you may think that's an anti-synergy with element. I think that's a deliberate balance fact. Like, the fact if you could pop 1 and get advantage off of it, that would be fucking busted. So this is a deliberate design choice by Konami to be like, no, this is send, buddy. But you do get protection on your equip spells, which is usually pretty good because that's usually the weakest element of an equip spell is the fact that if you're equip focused, your opponent can usually just like, if your monster is too much to deal with, they can usually just like Raigeki break you or MST you or anything.
Yeah.
Trunade.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the biggest weakness is that they just hit the monster with destruction effects and they just 2-for-1 you.
Well, but it depends on the equip spell. Like, some equip spells can, really make your monsters kind of pain in the ass to deal with. So
yeah,
it's harder to snipe the equip spells this way.
The problem with this card is that the tempo variation of ڤylon is probably the weakest of them. So, I mean, he's good, but it's just the other 2 versions are better.
And then let's go to our next
Oh,
one.
the unfortunate boy.
Speaking of our Mega Man references. Oops, that's the wrong text box. I want to double check when this came out. Okay, so Delta was Storm of Ragnarok. Epsilon and the one I am about to show you, Sigma, were both hidden
Oh,
arsenal.
no, never mind. Sigma's... We have to talk about Sigma.
Sigma! This design is a lot better.
I love this card.
Yeah. Also grab your hands.
Yeah,
also, this card is single-handedly responsible for Konami being reluctant to broken equip spells.
Okay.
I'll say that.
So, I like the blue, right? Like, they've been doing a lot with different color palettes. Sigma has blue as his primary theme. He's got, like, little lightning rod crystals. He's got blue lightning behind him. He does kind of look like an ice skate or a pogo stick on the bottom, but whatever. That's the wall mount. That's where the clear plastic pylon goes when you set this figure up.
Well, like the interesting thing is like with Epsilon, the rings look goofy. With this, it has not a menacing quality, but a dangerous quality to it.
I think it's because, if you'll allow me to theory craft here, I think it's because you see that like wall of lightning behind him. You start thinking of like, Tesla coils and Faraday cages and shit. Like he looks like a weird lightning rod thing, and you're just like,
and I'll say this: this is the beat stick of the Vylons. This is the punchy boy.
Well, obviously he's channeling that lightning to punch you, because the other guy looked like the punchy boy.
Well, no, I think it's more like he is magnetizing everything you equip to him and throwing it at your opponent.
And he does actually kind of look like an uppercase. Well, so his back rod is a lowercase sigma, which looks like an O with a squiggle on top. An O with a big schnoz. It's not on the bottom, so it's not a penis. It's a nose. So, but you guys are probably more familiar with the uppercase sigma, which looks like that. I'll put it in chat.
I'll be real.
And his overall body shape looks a little bit like that.
I don't know how to say this, but I feel like it was the same artist that did this and some of like Dragunity. I can see that the way some of the metal was shaped.
I mean, it's the same time period, so they may have been similar artists or similar effects in the studio.
I wish we knew who if they were different artists.
Or similar design philosophy. Because
like the metal textures at least.
They probably had a joint session of, hey, if we've got multiple artists, let's kind of get them on a similar page, because, Hidden Arsenal.
I mean, definitely there's so many entries in some of these archetypes, there must have been meetings or something. Like, there was an art director somewhere coordinating these guys, because there's a lot.
When you learn of his effect, you'll understand why I say this man is a rail cannon. Yes, I do believe that, Zed.
So, Vylon Sigma is a level 7 light fairy synchro. He only has 1800 attack and 1k defense normally. He is the least generic of our synchros so far. He requires both a light tuner and a non-tuner light monster. Still doesn't name check Vylons, though. But when this card declares an attack, if this is the only monster you control, you can equip one equip spell card from your deck to this face-up card.
Yup.
I'm sure the stupid thing with it is you equip a spell that's going to attack twice, then you equip a stupid fuck you spell too.
Well, no. Do you want the attack the OTK with this card? It is a 1-card OTK, or 2-card rather.
You
summon Trident Warrior. You summon Trident Warrior or Photon Thrasher. Summon Vylon Cube. Synchro into this. Then you search from Vylon Cube, you search Mage Power, equip Sigma with Mage Power, attack, equip from deck Twin Swords of Flashing Light Trice, attack again, search Mage Power. That's
so what I said with extra steps.
Yeah, I was thinking like, so obviously you're searching Mage Power or United. No, United would be too small because he requires the only monster. But
no,
yeah, Mage Power.
He can be the only monster.
You're doing Mage Power or other bullshit.
Which is Sigma.
Because it's not a once per turn.
Yeah.
So as long as he has ways to keep attacking, he will add more spells.
And it just makes him embiggened.
It's really funny how often the Guardian spell cards are part. Like we mentioned this 5 minutes ago. The Guardian spell equip spells are part of so many broken bullshit.
Well, it is generally it's Twin Swords of Flashing Light Trice and Shooting Starbow Seal.
Yeah.
That are the biggest offenders.
Because Trice lets you attack twice, Seal lets you direct attack, I believe.
Attack directly, yeah.
Yeah.
But Elma was involved in infinite draws.
Well, that got banned very quickly, though.
Elma is also a bullshit card, and people constantly think about how they can abuse it because it has no restrictions, but it's not a mainstay.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the Trice and Seal have shown up in random decks throughout history. Like, literally the most random decks.
Or, what was the Gravity Axe or whatever?
Gravity Axe Garl, I don't think it's as popular, but it's been in some weird shit.
I think it just prevents,
it prevents battle changing, which is neat, but it is definitely the weakest of the equip spells because it doesn't really, I guess it stops ghost tricks, but that's it.
I'm starting to wonder if, nobody spoil it for us, but I'm starting to wonder if somewhere down the line, Vylons become related to Yangzings because I've noticed that they're all the colors of the rainbow. I'm also wondering if that also means design-wise that Konami took some cues from Vylons for Mech Knights.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone's favorite.
Because some of this I think is the
column.
super foiling.
Megan,
but...
you dodged the one they're related to twice.
Crystal Beast.
No, though that'd be funny.
What?
They are a little. I don't want to go into it too much, but they are vaguely related to the clay.
Yeah, I mean, like design-wise, I see that. I'm thinking of specifically the fact that they all have different colored gem orbs.
Well, I guess tangentially that does mean they're related to the young
be a part of the Clifot bullshit association syndrome that people do with the terminal cards.
Well, I mean, if you look at certain Clees and you look at these guys, like the whole Machine Angel vibes are definitely. Even though, as we've established, most of these guys are actual angels.
I don't think it was intended at this point.
No. But it's definitely something where, like, they're Konami orbs. By the way, this is ｖylon Hept. I assume as in heptagon, the seven-sided polygon.
Yep.
Maybe.
Because I do not know any other use for the word hept.
Yeah, I think hept literally just means 7, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm looking at the trivia for this card, as I'm sure Marth is.
I looked at it and I saw like 5 fucking bullet points and I closed that tab. But I like the orange is a good color palette. This is kind of an interesting shot because it looks like he's like appearing out of. It looks like
portal?
Maybe the ڤylon element is like below him, and then he's like rising up out of it. The framing's a little weird because he's clearly like coming straight up, but it's still neat. Also, he has gun arms as usual. He's got wrist blasters.
Oh, so they are constructing additional ڤylon.
Yes. No. I named my deck that reason for. I named my ڤylon deck that for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anything else to say about the aesthetics?
Does Hep have 700 attack and defense?
No, he has 8. 800 defense and 1800 attack.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know.
They should have been 7 and 14.
No, I think he does have the little 7-sided thing going.
I mean, his wrist blasters are pentagons.
Yeah.
His back thing, I think, vaguely resembles a heptagon. I mean, I can listen, y'all.
1, 2, 4.
Yeah. So like with him, he targets a ڤylon monster you can control.
Hold on, I'm still trying. We're solving the heptagon crisis. That's too bad.
Target one ڤylon monster card you control that is an equipped card, but still not targeting a face-up defense position. So he has the Dragoon Elite bullshit.
All right, so that's not transparent. Eh? I mean, the heptagon covers him, but I don't see it.
Me neither. I'm just like, where's the lines? Maybe it's just somewhere hidden there, or they just were like.
I mean, I can
give him a name.
Wait.
I can flip it this way.
Is this the 7th fight?
He might be the 7th one. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No matter how you count it, he's not the 7th out of the ones they printed.
No.
Because there were 5 main decks, and then there were 3 synchros that already came out. So, I mean, maybe he is, but I don't think so. Anyway, oops, I'm in the wrong space. Let me delete the heptagon. So
Maybe
Vesper already mentioned
really
his
lucky.
effect. So I mean, he's got a fairly swollenness, right? And he plays into the equip thing because we mentioned they're gonna have a union later.
Like they have unions, and I think they also have. I think the level 1 tuner just straight up like equips to shit. So I assume the weird combo is like.
So, to spoil it, but all of the tuners from this point on do the equip to other cards when set.
So that makes sense that why Hept works like that, because that lets you do the thing. Now this guy, I think Konami learned from degenerate Dragoonity strategies that this guy banishes when when it leaves the field. So he knows that you're gonna
recycle shit.
Yeah, he's like, They're like, okay, we know you're gonna try and use this to like do synchro climb loops. Don't do that. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
I don't think there's anything else to say about the Hept boy.
Yeah, I stopped looking because I just couldn't find anything on it. But
No, I don't. I mean, somebody in chat was it? Yeah, Aaron said that he's got a body, like a body point, and then he's got 2 hands, 2 shoulders, 2 wings. But I think that means he's still 8 because he's got a top point and a bottom point on his body.
8. This should.
He might.
Gone
So his
on.
collar going around between like the joint in his shoulder blades and whatnot, that might be 7-sided.
we're just trying to find 7 in this guy. I think we should give up.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find out why he's called 7.
He's a little weird. Like I think there's a couple of directions you could go with it, but it's not a good weird. Speaking of weird though, this is one of the dark Vylon boys. They're not actually dark, they're still light, but they are evil.
They look even more menacing somehow because they are not white and gold, they are black and gold, correct?
Yeah. And also have silver as well. So like they got a lot of accent colors.
That works.
This is
Even if the white to silver definitely changes the aesthetic you're going.
This is Vylon Pentachloro.
Looks like some weird like Mego structure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the
What am I
Shining
looking at
Trapezidon? Whatever that is. You know that. It's the Mythos thing.
Yeah, we're done with normal Vylon looking cards. This is when shit gets weird.
The Shining Trapezohedron. Thanks, HP.
I have never seen this card before, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
so remember how we talked about unions? This is a union.
Oh yeah, the 4-dimensional version of Tetra.
I think it is. I think it's run at like 1 in some variants, but like I said, the big problem is most of the Vylon decks don't run the non-tuner Vylons.
Jeez,
Well,
did they have to get the MC Escher guy to get this one?
So,
I love
if you guys don't know, by the way, its name
Well,
it comes from
forget, I'm
the
just-
name 5-cell. Oh, push talk didn't work.
Right?
A 5-cell or a pentachoron, which is a basically that's an it's a type of like extra shape.
I also just
has the
noticed that
triangular
involving,
sides.
like,
Non-Euclidean?
I just noticed it has the weird inverted halo thing with like the gems almost at the front being eyes, and it has like weird cloth that like then elongate into being like arms.
I mean, it's to answer David's questions. I don't know if it's technically non-Euclidean, but it is a what do you call it? It's a right. It's a 4th dimensional.
It has the cognito hazard
Yeah.
effect of like that one extra hero we looked at who had that gun that just started looking more flat as we looked at him.
So this this guy's freaky, right? Like he's a 4-dimensional shape, or at least he's based on a drawing of a 4-dimensional shape, which is the 4-dimensional version of a tetrahedron. So yes, we'll see that guy later too. But he starts with T, and this guy starts with P. But also he's got Mobius strip arms, which like go inside his body, but don't look like they should go inside his body and end up where they end up. And also he's got grabby claw hands for some reason. Like,
well, and like I said, it looks like they start out flat, and like it looks like they start out flat and become a round shape.
yeah, no, it's just.
This guy screams. You look at him. You've just took 1d6 sand.
I mean, based on his shape, it's got to be a D4, right?
I mean, yeah, D4 because it's more just be like this is some kind of impossible machine thing.
And then I want to throw this
Also,
out there.
it's
He still has, because like he's got the dots on his corners, but the one that looks like it's his face region still has an angry little like face eye on it too. Like they made this thing non-Euclidean, but also still mean.
Also,
like-
I could see its face be like the weird inverted halo thing up there where its arms from.
Yeah, I could
the
also
thick
that could
eyes.
be its center of point of view. That's like Charger's
Man,
face.
I'm reading Pentachlora right now. He needs like 7 problem-solving cards.
Yeah. So spoilers. This motherfucker was never reprinted after Hidden Arsenal.
I want to
6.
bring up a point of like I can honestly also image this thing being something you encounter in like Space Cthulhu, like Space Age Cthulhu stuff.
I mean, this is
Starfinder Call of Cthulhu.
This is
Kinda, yeah.
absolutely like. I mean, that's just if you want to get real, it's just some Eclipse face shit. I'll throw you fractals.
Yeah, this is totally an Eclipse Place thing.
This guy is bad news bears.
Yeah, way to not pick up on my sand damage joke there.
Well, we're all doubling down here. We all have our own jokes. So this is a light level 4 machine union, not a tuna. It's a union. It has 500 attack and 400 defense. So he's not that impressive on his own, despite being so freaky looking.
So one investigator could just shoot it.
And this is a text box and a half. Okay.
Oh no.
Once per turn, you can either, target one face-up vyylon monster you control, equip this card to that target, capital letters, or capital letters, unequip this card and special summon it in face-up attack position, full stop. While equipped by this effect, if the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. A monster can only be equipped with one union monster at a time. If the equipped monster will be destroyed, destroy this card instead. So the standard union monster effect, but
you can cut like 2/3 of that attack by just having the union tag on it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it does. It already has a union tagline.
Yeah, it already has the union noter on there. It's just they feel the need to remind you what unions do.
Yeah, because this is the era where Yu-Gi-Oh has keywords as much as Magic players like to say they don't. It's just that they're all types. So they are just implied by what the type of the card is, and not like an effect keyword.
And let's be honest, the union keyword, does it imply that the union effect of if it's destroyed, destroy this card instead? Because I don't think all unions do that. That
part is part of the weird thing is they have to.
This bear's getting a little distant again.
That's why you're just being distant.
Yeah.
The sound escaped.
That's why you have to repeat all that, please.
But the union keyword implies the battle protection. It's for just a lot of Konami doesn't. They just don't print unions enough to where they feel like they know what they can and can't specify about what unions do, because most people just don't actually know because they rarely get printed.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Union as a concept has not really taken off.
I think the main thing with unions is that unions do have that. You can only be equipped with. You can only union one union at a time.
Yeah.
Whereas the bullshit ones are just
unions are somehow worse Geminis.
These exception to the rule are ABCs, but ABCs are good not because they're unions, but because they have a boss monster you can turbo out very, very easily.
Yeah,
there are variants of Vylon that...
Dallas?
There are variants of Vylon. That is in fact true, Dallas.
Oh, no, I said, sorry. There are variants of Vylon that used Union Hanger because they're light machines and they have unions.
Yep.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, this guy's searchable. Okay, so as a union monster, I mean, we haven't so far seen anything that gives them the speed for it to get the extra guys. Though you could always play frontline base if you're desperate.
If you really wanted to.
But its effect is, I think, decent. Because it while it's equipped, that monster you get basically 2 destructions. Or you get another. You can get a back row pop in. I think it's just a little slow for what you're doing with Vylon.
He's usually run in one in the lockdown deck because of the way a certain card. There's a Vylon Synchro that does things with monsters that we can talk about later.
Yeah, we'll get into the full Synchro strategies in a second, but we have another one to talk about as my eyes get a little dry, so let me rub those. I know you're not supposed to, but, your body wants to rub your eyes for a reason. Okay, so our next guy, this will be an interesting one to pull up in full.
Which one is it?
Behold, this is not an evil one. This is a perfectly normal Vylon Prism.
This card.
Hello.
Omega, look at its type.
This guy is too white.
Look at its type.
Oh, do we need to play the guessing game?
Yeah,
yes, we do. That's right, everybody. Let's play our favorite game. Come on down. Ba-da-ba-da-da.
it, even though only the project can see it. I mean, what else can I say about this card?
Yeah, white.
So I'm going to guess, for the sake of it, that since we're playing this game, it's not machine or fairy. What? Spellcaster?
Yeah, without getting into it, you would be correct.
It is not.
It is not a machine or fairy.
I'm guessing rock.
He does look like a rock, doesn't he?
Actually, you got any guess?
He certainly looks like a rock. It definitely makes sense.
I was thinking Spellcaster too, so I don't know.
All right, Omega, you got a guess?
No, I mean I know already. I
I
have to look at the card to pull up the.
No, you're all wrong. Or Whisper, do you know?
On the type, but not the stats.
No, there wasn't a right guess.
No. Zed in chat got it.
That is saying
Zed
Thunder.
did.
Yeah, it's Thunder.
Yeah, it's a thunder.
Yeah, several other people in chat are
know.
wrong. Wow,
Oh, yeah,
this is,
that makes sense.
Really loud coming through right now.
Thunder also applies to it.
I think the
I mean, I
idea
don't
is
think
that
it makes sense for
Prism
this one, Axe, because he is a prism of light.
No,
Yeah,
I-
it's a weird thing where like there is not a light monster typing, so they went the closest thing and were like, well, I guess light is thunder.
Well, like,
it's like lightning
if
and
this
stuff.
had been rock type, it would have been odd, but I would have accepted it.
Well, yeah, like when
Why
Mars
is
said
this
rock, it was like,
thunder?
no, that,
I mean,
that makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
So I think Vesper has a point. Like, if you're not gonna do a fairy, because I think fairy is probably like
Angel.
the iconic. Yeah, because it's literally angel in Japanese. That's the iconic light monster type. But if you're gonna do something different, because for some reason they want to be weird, thunder is, I think, most commonly light. I assume that's kind of a chicken and egg thing. Like, I think a lot of thunders are light because Konami is like, what the fuck else is a lightning bolt, right?
Yeah.
Like, the only ones that aren't that
Wind?
way, I think, are, like, majorly is Thunder Dragons, and that's because they basically turned Thunder Dragon into, like, a
To a
weird
chaos
chaos
archetype.
package, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like Thunder Dragon
Or,
Dark and Lord and Duo.
Or I
Or
think
duo.
the Wind Dragon rulers they're not thunder, but they're kind of thunder.
And the other thing is too is that the typing for thunder in Japanese is ikazuchi,
Yes.
which is yes, it is thunder, but it is also lightning bolt or like
Thunder Dragon's
electricity.
on the list.
Yes.
Like it is thunder.
Oh
it
my
is
God.
every other variation of thunder and lightning in Japanese.
I found some non-light thunder monsters. There is Bolt Escargot, which is a water thunder.
Well, okay, no, before you say this, you guys heard me say, oh my god, in there. So I clicked on Thunder in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, and it says, Thunder, Ikazuchi, monsters are usually light, although there are earth, water, and wind minorities as well. First of all, shout out to them for using the word minority there, but yeah.
There's a
There's
fire
also there's also darks.
Well, yeah, we talked about that with the other one, but it's the Earth one is Gem Knight Prisma Aura, who I think
Which
is
makes
made
sense.
from this guy.
Yeah.
There's also Susa Soldier for an old one.
I mean, do old vanilla Yu-Gi-Oh cards count? They don't make
No,
any sense.
it's not a vanilla. It's not a vanilla Omega. It's a spirit.
I would say the only one that counts as far as weird as
okay, that
typing
works.
is like Fire Kraken, who is very explicitly like a combination of two different types.
Yeah, they went out of their way to like make that guy make
Hey,
sense.
There's actually a very widely played thunder wind monster.
Yeah, Lightning Chidori.
Lightning Chidori, correct?
No, Mist Valley Thunderbird.
Okay, that's
I
also
mean,
fair.
it's
right.
We talked about him as well.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Well, actually,
hey.
we talked about Mist Valleys. Period. Those guys are mostly wing beasts or thunders.
Yeah.
Wind. So the two things that I would say make the most sense for thunder is light or wind.
Yeah.
I guess I see what they're going for with the earth ones, but I think it's weird. Water is okay. Though now I'm just like, fuck, dude. I want my fire thunder. Like, where's my
Yeah.
forest fire
There is
archetype?
one fire thunder.
Who is it?
Wait.
Who is it? Lay it on me. Show me the card.
Magikey Fiend Transformaline.
Nice! Magic Key. I love those guys.
I wanted to say, I feel like they could do Fire Thunder as in plasma cards. Just
So,
called
That would
Plasma
also be
Cards.
pretty rad, yeah.
Speaking of more modern stuff, I just got some mail. It's my copies of Ecclesia.
Yo,
Anyway, so
Prism.
I think we're actively avoiding talking about Prism because there's nothing to talk about. He is a Prism.
Yeah.
He's a compact drive from Etika 7. He doesn't have a face except he has a face. He's dumb and I don't like him.
I was gonna say that looks like a late game book in an SRW game. Just be real.
There's actually a lot of there's a lot of Earth Thunder monsters.
Yeah,
The weirdness of,
again, I'm not quite sure what they're going for there, but
is he's level 4 tuner, which is
yeah, he's their level 4 tuner. He is a Sunda.
He's 1500 both ways, so
Yes.
not terrible stats considering we're dealing with Vylons who are shit.
Yeah.
Well, and also 1500 is...
It's a little low for a 4, but he is a tuner, so, you know, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has a quick effect. He has a quick effect if he is sent from field to grave. Oh man, I read Monster Zone to Graveyard and my brain froze. It's pre-problem solving card text, pre-PCST.
If this card is sent from the monster card zone to the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points.
You pay 500 life, equip into a boy, and its effect is, during the damage step only, the equip monster gets 1,000 attack, which is it's good.
Yeah, and it does specify attacks or is attacked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a decent effect. It's a little weird, but I think the main thing you obviously do with this is, he's a tuner, so you sync with him, and once you sync with him in the graveyard, you pay 500, you give your boy an embiggening.
You sync him up into the Sigma, I assume.
He's run fairly popular. Well,
to make swole as fuck.
Well, so generally he's not run in the Sigma variants because it's way easier to make with Cube and another one.
It probably is, but like he would still work with Sigma.
I mean, I think honestly, while he's not the mainstay, I think Epsilon's probably the easiest target here we've talked about so far.
Yeah, he's generally used to make Epsilon or another one that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, we've got more coming, but we have more weird shapes to get through.
Well, one of the Vylon Synchros is unfortunate.
So
and is never used ever.
I was gonna say, unfortunate in what way? In their name or in their...
Oh no, their name is normal. It's just they're literally never used.
Hold on, I gotta summon up my best pathetic aesthetic here. Sphere. I need to put some reverb on that.
I love Vylon Sphere. It's adorable.
So it's the baby of the group.
Wait, no, I've got it's time for my next favorite meme. It's time for the second entry in Ballin', but at what cost?
Ballin'.
So this card is actually ridiculous.
It's like
this
dorky
is the
cube.
one that I know with a little bit of lore implications, TM, because this is the one that Freeze has in her art.
Freeze is wombo comboed with this guy, this ball thing, who is not large. He is not
it also has like the weird, it has like the weird extra light effects, like it's like it was just
and so this is the one
pop into existence.
This is the one I know because because of that.
He's sparkly, he's orby. I mean, it's interesting how he has very like traditional robot hands, right? Like he's got the rubber safety, tubes and the 3-fingered hands. His fingers are still way too humanoid for that 3-fingered setup. I do not like it.
Yeah.
Look at how bendy they are.
I agree. I agree.
He's got a turbine. He's got a turbine brain.
Yeah, he's got something in there. But yeah, I don't. He's a literal ball with arms. Is there anything else you guys want to say about him?
Compare him to Sphere.
What was that, Vesper?
We can make the Ballin' joke again.
Yeah, I mean, we could, but we've
Is
done
it a level 1?
It's fine. Yes, this is the level 1 tuner.
Yes.
So this is a level 1 machine tuner, light, obviously, 400. If this card is sent from the monster card zone to the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points to target one face-up monster you control. Equip this card to that target. God, that is a mouthful. And no, this is a separate effect because the second bit is you can send this equip card to the graveyard to target one equipped spell in your graveyard. Equip that target to the monster this card was equipped to. So, Sphere basically, one, he equips himself to your guys, which can obviously help you with some of your, other effects. And then, worst comes to worst, you can use him to just cycle out to whatever equip spell you like. That is equipable.
Oh, wow. So that actually, in more modern Gusto, could actually be used, but no. we have better ways of getting our new equip spell.
But yeah, there's...
This card is very good in Modern vyylon because of its second effect.
Mm-hmm. I would also say, I think as a level 1 tuner, this one's very easy to do the synchro climbing we talked about because 1-for-1 exists.
Well, you can also just... there's a lot of cards that let you get equip spells easily into the graveyard.
Yeah.
Named Isolde.
I'm gonna say Isolde or Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that lets you send spells.
And I believe is at 3.
You know, this was often used with Isolde, actually.
But yeah, so you guys can tell from the effect text, Sphere does the thing. He exists, he does things.
Yes.
He's pretty good, but that's about all you can say between that and his
for being a mascot monster.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that like Sphere is simple. Like you don't use Sphere to have Sphere around. You use Sphere because Sphere is an extender. He is a tuner, or he lets you cycle equip spells. Like he is a guy that gets you to the thing you need. He is a key part of the engine.
Yes.
Let me see if I copy and pasted this correctly, because we go to our next one. Stella!
Uh-oh.
Because he's a star. ဗylоnwαvε. He is star-shaped. I see you are in awe of his starriness.
He is definitely... He has 2 triangles.
I weird the image, like...
I'm looking to see if he goes kaboom.
I weird... So here's the weird thing. I image it if there's like a turn-based RPG where this is an enemy you fight, if it's like middle section would just spin around. Like,
wait a second.
I mean, its rings definitely rotate.
Wait
a
second.
Section with like its face to go upside down essentially.
That's the same shape our Satan Quartz looks like.
I mean, yeah, it's the triangles on triangles. You can get... Yeah. There's a lot of FGO jokes to be had here, but I don't think there's much to say about his art design. I do not like this yellow he uses in his orbs.
I mean, someone had to use the piss yellow.
It's kind of that chartreuse, that yellow-green.
It's very piss. It's very piss, and that's all we'll say on that matter, I think.
I'm wondering how the fuck his arm joints work, because those are just triangles. Like... I guess, well, I mean, you know what they say, magnets, how do they work, right? Like, there's got to be something holding this guy together, but it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Dallas is shockingly silent, so he's either died or he doesn't care about Stella.
It's Stella. I've never used this card in my life, I'm going to be honest. I did not even remember this existed.
I think I understand why. So, vylon Stella is a... Oh, go ahead.
I do want to say, at this point, I think most future vylons just have this generic effect of field to grave, pay 500, equip.
Yeah, so we can simplify the tuners. So, vylon Stella is a level 3 fairy tuner.
Oh, that's why, yeah. It's a level 3 tuner.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you probably still use Cube. He has 1,400 attack and 200 defense. He has the pay 500 to equip effect, and then at the end of the damage step, if the equipped monster battle an opponent's monster, destroy that monster. So, it's not even that good of an effect. Like, this is
fine,
useful,
but it's niche. It's niche usage. It's a one of at best.
Yeah, like when you have a much better level 3 tuner already in Cube, Stella just does not, despite being a star, Stella does not shine.
And let's be honest, that is a much worse effect than good old what's his name, Cataster.
I mean, yeah, no.
And maybe not in archetype, but there's probably some out of archetype shenanigans you could do to make Cataster without too much trouble in this deck.
And you can also just make Cataster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be another interesting one because I am not, other than the obvious nature of his name. This next one I do not know if there's any particular reason why they called him this, other than just general badness. vylon Stigma! Ah! You absolutely have to announce him in this voice.
He looks like a bug, kind of.
Oh wow,
So-
this card is
Looks like a
really bad.
So
It
he
looks
has
like
the
a violent
same.
Elswarm.
Oh my god, the
I
way
mean,
this
it is
card
now.
is effect is worded. Oh my lord.
Well, we'll get there, Dallas. You keep reading ahead. We
Well,
have to talk
but-
about the art first. Axe,
but, like-
this is interesting you say that because this is technically from that era of Vylon. So yeah, that follows at least.
Yeah. It also has the weird Millennium Eye arms or hands.
I mean, yeah, I think they just upgraded him from 3 spikes
Oh.
on Penta to 4 spikes on this guy.
So I'm not sure what this
Yeah.
means exactly, but looking at the trivia, it says that Stigma is a ligature of the Greek letters sigma and tau.
Oh, okay, so that's you refer to that as
Which is
part
probably
of
the
it.
same with Pentachloro. Looking at his name.
Well, like I said, a pentachoron is a 4D shape. This guy is just like, yeah, I'm part of those letters.
But yeah, so Stigma's thing is like because he's a Stigomal
Yes.
in the OCG because of the
Sutiguma.
phonetics. So it's playing more into the tau part,
Yeah.
whereas here we're just getting bits of the T in Sigma.
Yeah. He's got a weird wormy shape. He's got a weird. I mean, he's got a very aggressive faceplate. But other than that, I mean, I kind of like the dark void, but with the dark orange sparkles of him being summoned forth, kind of a thing. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of neat. But other than that, I don't think there's a crazy lot to talk about this. So let us read his effect. This is a level 4 light fairy still. Don't let any of that black gold fool you. Still a light fairy.
Yeah.
He is level 4, like I said, 1600 attack, 1k defense. According to the trivia page, you can search him with Witch of the Black Forest. I don't know why that's relevant. Once
you can
per
turn
turn.
anything over to the Black Forest. That's not a trivia. That's just the way this game works.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
just
know
a
why they felt
tip.
the need to add that note. But once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one face-up Vylon equip card you control, and one face-up monster. Equip that first target to the second target. So he lets you switcheroo.
Taylor the Pickle for Vylon.
Yes. And I guess that ligature, that bridging note is what he's going for, right? Like he swaps around the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Why?
Yeah, no, this card's bad.
It's not real. I guess this is being good in any build except when you fuck up.
Yeah. Like you already have ways to recycle your equips. You can just do that.
You can just pop and recycle them, then switching them around. So this card just seems functionally useless.
I think because it doesn't say when you can do that. It just says once per turn.
Now I'll admit
If
it
it's
does
over
say
turn, the main phase
equip card, so I believe that can apply to the monster effects that are equipped. Because it's not
Yeah.
equip spell card, but still, there's
So you could probably proc that going into the battle phase, or
No, well, it's not a quick effect, so it has to be during the main phase.
yeah, it has to be during your main
Yeah.
phase.
but at the end of the main phase, because it does say during either player's turn.
Oh wait, it does.
Yeah, it says during either
Oh,
player's
that is
turn.
it's quick
Yes,
effect. So
yeah,
you can
so it's
still
got-
do
he's
that
got a
battle
quick.
phase. I just didn't read the card because
Yeah,
it's
no,
bad.
once per turn during either player's turn, you can target.
If,
Yes.
if it is, then it is quick
Yeah, it's
effect.
quick.
That's just me not hearing what was said earlier. That's my bad.
That said, that's
Imagine
still
reading
not
cards.
like that. I mean, I don't think it's that good. Like,
Oh, yeah,
it lets-
that's
I
right.
guess it
It's not
lets
that
your if
good.
your opponent tries to pop your board state, you can be like, "Oh, you're going to attack my little guy? Well, I'm going to make my little guy my big guy after you've declared." Yeah. It's not really worth it. Just play battle traps.
Yeah,
And,
just-
and
just-
also,
just-
they
just
get around it.
cool.
They get around it
Battle
by
interaction.
punching. They also get around that by punching Stigma.
Well, no, Stigma's a face-up, an appropriate face-up Vylon monster. You can equip him to himself. So,
yeah, that's true. I
There's
guess.
no real way to get around it if you have Vylons on board. I just don't think he's worth the summon on him, right?
Yeah, no.
There are all of their non-tuners are level 4. You can make the materials work. So let's look at another abomination. Stare into the abyss, everybody. It's Vylon Tesseract. It's a hypercube.
I stared into the abyss.
I
and
mean,
the
this one's
abyss
way more
stared back.
comparable.
And once again, the return of the Mobius strip arms.
Yeah, nope.
I will still say like this is weirdly more comparable to the other one, even though it's more like an inverted upside down version of like the first version of this kind of design.
Well, okay, Axe is not nerd enough to understand how tesseracts and pentachlorons work. This is just what a tesseract looks like. It's a square and a square. It's 4-dimensional.
Yeah.
I know, but I meant like the side bit. I meant like the external bits, like the gems.
I mean, that's
like,
that's making it what it's not named after then.
I mean, like that's just accessory stuff. God, the placement of the angles on the cubes of the corner cubes, the cubes within cubes, like sets me on edge a little. But it's supposed to. Like this is a hypercube that you stare into this inky blackness inside through like glass or something. Like I would posit the cube is not actually black. The cube is filled with an inky blackness.
I also
He also has the flat, like, and like you can see it very clearly this time. It has flat claw arms that start flat and become a shape, become a 3D shape.
And it's very wrong.
Yeah, it looks like probably at the edge of.
Also, guys.
Possibly at the edge of the boundary of the Tesseract.
Also, I want to say, I don't think his arms are symmetrical. Like, it could be an angle thing, because he's, like, slightly off-kilted, but, like, even then, like, the lines don't line up.
I think it's mostly an angle thing. I think they're supposed to be symmetrical, but it has that effect where it's just when you look at it, it's not supposed to make sense.
Yeah, I do not like looking at him. I will read his effect now. So, Tesseractus. You know, a hypercube. This is a level 4 light machine union monster with 800 attack and 600 defense. Because God forbid the union monsters can stand on their own. You're supposed to equip them, don't you know? Once per turn, you can either equip to a face-up Vylon or unequip and special summon in attack position. While equipped, if the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one level 4 or lower Vylon monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. So this one, I think, is not that bad. This lets you get back your materials, and depending on what turn you do it on, you can then unequip this guy and make another Synchro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get your Synchro materials engraved, and you can recycle your tuners and stuff.
It seems competent for its time period.
Yeah.
When was it? Like, it seems fine.
This is the second wave in Hidden Arsenal 6.
So Tesseract and the other union are good specifically because of another card.
And now we're going to talk about their level 2 Tuna. And we've alluded to this guy before. I think maybe we've shown his picture on screen. It's time for vyylon D... Oh, no, still got my pen on. Hold on. I had to draw lines. vyylon D4! vyylon Tetra. He is the Hedron that is Tetra.
Yeah, this guy is probably shapier than that. This guy is probably the shapiest shape so far.
After Cube, certainly.
Yeah.
But it's been like 2 hours since Cube almost.
He is in between a cube and sphere for the shapiest shape contest.
And it does make sense because he's the level 2. He's a level 2 tuner. I like the inclusion of kind of the reddish orange orb accents and kind of the like sunset or dawn sky effect on him. I don't know if like when you look to the east and at the dawn comes vyylon Tesseract or anything, but like shrug. What were you gonna say, Vesper?
I read his effect for when we get to his effect. He is bad.
Well, do you guys have anything to say about Tetra?
Wait, what are you talking about? This guy.
I mean, based on his name, he's the one that they make into Tetra Ogre.
Yes, Tetra Ogre is wearing this guy like a suit. I do want to point out his hands are bad wrong, because he's got an angular palm, but he's got tripod joints that like.
What are you
close
talking
in the
about?
middle.
Those are perfectly normal fingers.
The fingers are fine. The placement is bad. He's got a giant stubby point that right where his grip zone is. You got to pinch everything. Watch out, he's gonna pinch you.
Maybe this is the guy that they hemmed up for logistics then.
He's definitely forklift certified. So this is a level 2 machine tuner, 900. That's right. This guy is more swole than others.
His effect is the Pay 500 effect.
Yes.
And he has the generic Union effect, where
yeah, if the equip monster would be destroyed, you can destroy this instead. Yeah, like in a vacuum, that doesn't do anything.
Well, here's the thing: if he wasn't a level 2 tuner, I would agree he was bad. But he's a level 2 tuner.
But Dallas, like, him being a good level does not mean that his effect is not dog shit.
That's probably fair.
I will say for the most part, because so far, and we're about to get to the next couple of synchros, and we're gonna round out here. So we will be a little short. I mean, we're not at 2 hours yet. We could staple cubics to the end of this.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, it's a situation of like tuners nowadays are just so easy to summon that it doesn't really matter. But most tuners you're playing tend to have some sort of extending effect most of the time.
It's either cubics or Tindangle if you want to be on theme.
I don't remember how many Tindangles there are.
I would agree.
There's a few.
I would fervently agree with you if VyLon Element didn't make it so easy to summon this card.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like you play him for the level, but not for his effect. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I looked
his
up
effect is good because
in EDO Pro, and including their spell traps, there's 14.
I'll say this: his effect is good specifically because of the effect of VyLon Omega.
There's like 5 spell traps, so there's 9 of them.
I mean, that's also pretty short. We could probably do Tindangle. That's on the list. They're weird and eldritch. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got a couple of the synchros to go through. We've got 2 synchros and they're one bolted on Xyz as well. So these are both pretty important. This is Alpha. Alpha, get me 5 cubes with attitude.
Attitude.
And you can tell he's an alpha because he has a giant A on his back.
A.
Yep.
Alpha's unfortunate. Alpha's a very unfortunate card. He is a good side deck card.
What's the team that's usually called the A's? That's Oakland, right?
Yeah, it's Oakland.
So.
Yeah, the Athletics.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his color scheme with the introducing of the black and white.
I know, like design-wise, it's pretty slick. It's just that unfortunately, he is overshadowed by all of his other competitors.
Yeah, I don't think his art is super standout.
His effect
is
not
very terrible to look at. It's pleasant enough to where it's not like the Tesseract. I'm staring at this too long. I'm going to have a brain aneurysm, and it is just a cool art design.
His effect is very niche.
Yeah, so this is their one. Actually, I don't know what the level on Omega is without looking. But this is a Sync 9.
9. It's their 9. Omega's 10.
Yeah, so this is their Sync 9. Machine Synchro. So this is the Machine Synchro, interestingly enough. 2200 attack, 1100 defense. Not great inherent stats for a Sync 9. Now, he is a 2-mat 9, which was pretty rare at the time, but he is, I think, our first guy to be archetype locked. He requires a VyLon tuner specifically and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Now, obviously, you could make this with Sphere and 2 4s, but also 2 4s could be Utopia, who has more attack points than this guy. And I think, like Dallas said, the key thing here is that this guy is very niche. So he doesn't have a great inherent stat line. Now, when this card is synchro summoned, you can target an equip spell card in your graveyard and equip that target to this card. While this card is equipped with an equip card, it cannot be destroyed by spell trap effects except for equipped cards. So he has inherent protection if you equip him with a card, but he basically requires graveyard setup. Now, while there are a lot of easy ways to do that, and VyLons do that, it's a kind of an awkward number that you also have to graveyard set up because you have to have equipped spells in the graveyard when you synchro summon him.
No.
Yeah.
He is definitely not a great card.
Yeah, it feels like you're supposed to climb into him and there's probably better options for
Yes, no, there definitely is better options.
So do we want to? I mean, I think we should use Omega as the capstone. So let's talk about Dai Sigma.
Yes.
Well, I will say one thing about this card before we switch off him.
Sure.
He is probably the card that benefited from Foolish Burial Goods the most, in the sense of a bad card being made vaguely playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I still think there are better options, but
There are definitely way better options. At the very least, since you're probably playing Burial Goods in the deck to begin with, because you want to dump spells, and sometimes you just need a starter to dump a spell in the grave to get your combo going for recycling bullshit to pop bullshit. If you're playing it anyways, you might as well run the one out that you have the space, because you never know, you might actually need it.
I suspect you won't need it by virtue of your other options being better, though.
Yeah, like it is niche reasons to run weird cards in your extra deck if you're not running an extra deck heavy deck.
So this is
the problem
their
is-
obligatory not synchro Xyz ad. ۋyلon Dai Sigma.
I would say that the unfortunate part of that is because VyLon's, with the way that VyLon element works, not being an OPT, it makes VyLon's a weirdly really good synchro tool, or not synchro toolbox, Xyz toolbox.
Yeah.
So your extra deck space is actually fairly limited.
So I want to,
Well,
before we talk about his design,
Element
I want to
is
mention
for
the
it.
name of Dai Sigma. Dai Sigma is now more commonly called Sampi. It is a archaic, a defunct letter in the Greek alphabet. It was used for a sibilant sound, so possibly it was used for a ts or ts, like long S or TS sound. But it fell out of use by the Greek alphabet, so it is a archaic dead letter that's not used anymore. But I'm pretty sure they chose it because it has the Dai Sigma joke.
Well, but I also think it works well enough for an Xyz monster to have a different theming. It's probably just that, hey, there aren't actually that many archaic Greek letters to use, and we want to get them an Xyz monster. So let's just use that as the name theme and toss them an Xyz monster.
Well, and then also Elswarm virus, yo. Isn't that what's going on here?
Well, I'm pretty sure this is Pentachloro and actually, I think this is all three of those evil guys stacked on top of each other, Xyz style, because he does require 3 level 4 monsters.
He's 3 level 4.
I would assume it's Sigma and then the 2.
No, Sigma's
Sigma
not a
was
level
the
4.
other
I'm pretty
one.
sure it's Grabby Hands, Pentachloro, and Tesseract stacked on top of each other, like a guy in a trench coat.
I guess it.
Because remember,
Yeah, okay.
Dai Sigma is a different letter than Sigma.
That's true. Okay.
And
yeah.
also
It's,
the some P, that means as in some pi. I should probably say it's some pi, but that's harder for me to pronounce.
Hey, Omega.
What's up?
If you looked through the trivia, you might have saw this, but I'm gonna post this anyways
Sure, go for it.
in the prog chat. A final boss that many people may actually be familiar with because it's from one of the most infamously terrible games. The final boss of Sonic 06.
Oh yeah, that thing.
He does kind of look like that. Not quite,
It
but a
looks like
little.
It looks like a Kirby
You know,
boss.
it's not one for one, but you can look at them too. It's like, yeah, I can see that. Like the same person, like 2 people got the same idea with this guy.
Okay, this game is huge. I'm not gonna repost it. Chat can look up the trivia page for this.
Yeah,
So, Dai Shiguma, or possibly because it is DI, Shiguma. This is a level 4 or rank 4, I should say, fairy Xyz monster that is light. It has 2,500 attack, 2,100 defense. It requires 3 level 4 monsters. Already not a good sign with that attack stat. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. Equip that target to this card. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster whose attribute is the same as a card equipped by this monster, destroy that monster. So, honestly, I think the main thing here is that when this guy came out in Hidden Arsenal 6, 3/4s was kind of a pain in the butt, and also, I mean, this is not at the same time, I don't think, but this is close to the shock, right?
3/4s were basically unheard of to do in most decks.
And I think the 3/4 that really popularized it was the Shockmaster, who is fucking stupid. That card is banned for good reason.
He cannot be unlocked.
You cannot unlock the listen, there's a reason why nobody played 3-mat rank 4s until Shockmaster. It's because Shockmaster is that fucking dumb that you make a deck where you make Shockmaster.
Wait, because there was one rank 3 ranking 4 that I think was played before Shock, but it was an archetype specific one. When did Amaterasu come out? Because if
Bujinki Amaterasu is generic.
It was more just that the way that Bujins were fairly slower and like, I wouldn't say control, but they have that aesthetic. It was easier to pull him off in a deck.
It's a lot harder to get rid of vyylon guys from the board because you have a lot of effects in hand and in grave. So you can make boys fairly easily, and you can just rack up your normal summons. But I will say I think here's the problem with Die Sigma. Like Die Sigma was printed in Hidden Arsenal 6 Omega Xyz in the middle of 2012. Number 101 Silent Honor Arc was printed in okay, that was a ways later. That was 2 years, because that was early, like right at the start of 2014, so like a year and a half later.
I suspect the one that overshadowed him was the Master of Shocking that we never let anyone here have.
No, yeah, because he was a promo card, and I was like, I'm not putting Shockmaster in the card bank. I'm not doing that.
And I think I actually said you can't do this.
Yeah, I was like, we will not. But I think Marth was doing going back and double checking the card bank, and he was like, so Shockmaster's not on the list, but he kind of sucks. And I'm like, I agree. We should not put him.
There are two cards.
Having seen it in history.
Just put a note next to it, like, don't do this one. It's like,
there are two specific monsters in the card bank that collectively were decided to not have: Shockmaster and Norden. They are both promo cards that are easily accessible, but
actually, there's another one that with.
There's a worse one than both of those.
Those are two of the big ones.
No, Vesper, you forgot. Elder Entity Azathoth.
Well, the thing I'm actually thinking of that's also not in there because it is now banned and was only a promo. Number S0 Utopic Zexal. No.
Right.
There are a lot of cards.
There's a lot of problem Xyz cards, guys.
Shockmaster came
There are a lot
before
of
this guy.
cards that are vaguely.
So Shockmaster was out before, Die Sigma. Then there's no reason.
And I think it took them a while to start shock locking people, but eventually.
Well, yeah, because like Vesper said, 3/4s was basically unheard of. Like, again, for this guy's stat line, you can literally just make Utopia, who has the same stats, and then like has protection.
Yeah.
I think the main thing with and again, the problem with Die Sigma is there is a much more accessible version of him that has the effect you would want, which is. Well, technically, there's two. So that Destroy Attributes effect, that's just you play Catastor. You could still play Catastor in 2012. It was fine, right? Yeah. And that requires less monsters to make than Die Sigma. And then about a year and a half later, Silent Honor Arc comes out. Silent Honor Arc is 2 4s that equips a special summon monster. Yes, it can only do that once, but as a tech card to get rid of your opponent's annoying monster, way easier to pull off than Die Sigma.
Yeah, for anything that does have target protection.
One of the, I think only 2 of us here have actually summoned Die Sigma.
Yeah.
I definitely had him.
I think that's either me and Robin or me and Marth.
I think I summoned it once.
Yeah.
So it's time for the.
I don't think I've summoned it in play, but I've definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean on screen where viewers can see that, and they can double check my claim here.
Yeah, same.
But I think
I'm not even confident enough to go that far.
I think only 2 or 3 of us have actually summoned the boy on screen.
Well, I mean, it's mainly just because of like 3/4s is just hard to do in this era. Like we're at the point in Prague where he's probably simple to pull off, It's more just that, what's the payoff for this guy?
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
payoff
It's also
to
Silent
the other
Honor Arc
people.
is a card right there.
Yeah, Silent Honor
Yeah.
Arc exists. I mean, if you put 2 4s on board in pendulums, which are very easy to do that, then there's like Draco Engine you can do.
Yeah.
There's
At
so many
this
better
point-
things you can do with. Hell, I
Yeah.
mean, I think isn't Evil Swarm Ouroboros? That's 3,
Yeah.
right? 3 4s.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
that's a Banish style. That's a Trishula Banish style effect.
Opion as well, I
It
believe.
is, but I think the
One of them
problem
is
with
one of
the-
them is not generic. It's like Dark Locked. Not that that makes a huge difference, but yeah,
Like
there's
Opion.
there's better guys.
I think one of the evil swarms is specifically L Swarm Law.
There's a
it's
few,
an
but like
Opion.
we don't need to dig into that.
Well,
This
I mean,
is
that's-
vyylon Omega. He is the last boy, the beginning and the ending. He is your doom. His hands are gold, and he's gonna get you. And he's wearing
Yeah.
a giant letter Omega horseshoe on him.
Lots
Also, he has
of
4
lots of
wings.
resistance.
Yeah.
Lot-
He's
lots
got a
of
big like double X on him. I don't like. Is this guy the lost double X saber? I'm not sure about that. But I do. I mean, he is level 10, so maybe the X's make sense. I do like his
Yeah.
his samurai kabuto vibes on his like giant Omega visor thing that also looks like angry eyebrows.
Yeah, like with the other Exceed monster or the other synchros, it was fairly subtle with the Greek letter. This dude is just the fucking Omega symbol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is
And
the
he
letter.
also-
He is big. He is in charge.
I believe he is both Omega symbols, right?
Yeah, I think he's got
Isn't
kind
the
of a
lowercase one on his head.
no. The lower. Well, kind of. The lowercase is so it's funny. Most people probably think of the letter Omega as an O sound because of the phrase, but it's actually
It's a
like
W sound.
yeah, it's W.
Yeah, it's the W thing.
Weird.
So
I mean, it's
the-
like kind of on his head.
The lowercase is just a curvy W. I will post.
But
it
yeah,
in
no,
live chat.
spoiler. This is the boss monster.
Yeah, this is the guy who makes the thing go. Do we have anything to say about how he looks?
I love
this
art.
He's cool with just that. All you're really seeing when you first look at this guy is the Omega shape.
Yeah. He's very strong branding. So this
Oh.
is their level 10 fairy synchro. He is light. He is 3200, 1900. Now, this is interesting. This is, I think the anime had a special phrase for this. Correct me if I'm wrong. He requires 2 tuners of any variety and 1 non-tuner vyylon monster.
Double XL or
Yeah,
something.
double tuning,
Double tuning. Okay.
It's just double
Yeah.
tuning.
which is Jack's soul gimmick.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
double
it's just-
tune.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
it requires a non-tuner vyylon monster, and it requires 2+ tuner or 2 tuners, exactly 2 tuners, not 2+. So it's exactly 3 mats.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be hard to figure out though.
Oh no, it's sphere. It's usually delta sphere. Terra. Tetra rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, delta sphere. Tetra.
So when this card is synchro summoned, destroy all face-up monsters that were normal summoned or set. Because fuck you.
Fuck you.
I mean, he's a big boy who requires 2 tuners. He should make a splash when he hits the board. Once per turn, you can target 1 Vylon monster in your graveyard. Equip that target to this card. During either player's turn, when a monster effect activates, you can send 1 equip card equipped to this card to the graveyard. Negate that activation if you do destroy that card. That's right. This guy is a board nuke, though admittedly in the era he came out not as much of an important one, but still fairly important. But this guy is a wipe and a negate that recurs.
yeah, he has recycling negates.
Oh,
Now it's just an effect negate, but still, that's the important one.
oh yeah, just to point this out, apparently this guy has the incorrect number ordering for its Greek alphabet letter. The double X's are supposed to indicate what letter number is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be, I think, XX something I4.
Yes, he should be IV because the Greek alphabet has 24 letters.
Meanwhile, all the other Sigma, Alpha, and whatnot are correct.
Maybe this guy meant to be the Vylon key.
Yeah, it's just
Just
like
X.
very weird. It's like, how did they mess that up?
I don't know. The Japanese people don't know Greek letters.
Yeah.
But yeah,
maybe we just can't. No.
This is a splashy boy.
Yeah.
He's got a recurring monster negate, and when he appears, he will pop normal summons. Now he'll pop your normal summon monsters too.
He will say "fuck the board."
Yeah. But he shows up and he is like, he does not say "be not afraid." He says "be afraid, motherfuckers."
Yeah.
That's.
He will fuckle the suckle, as people say.
This is the last thing the Tower of Babel saw.
Yeet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go down.
You make a tower. I see. You have chosen death.
All right. So there is a couple of things that Dallas wanted me to pull up really quick.
But ဗylon Omega is the cornerstone of making the non-OTK swingy version of vylon's work.
I can understand why, because that is
It is very easy to get this man out on turn 1. Very easy.
Oh yeah.
Because what you said? So you're using one of your 4 tuners, right? Or one of your 4 non-tuners, right?
No, so it's generally Photon Thrasher or Trident Warrior into cube, make Delta, search KS, or whichever you didn't draw, KS or a vylon equip. Equip KS, equip vylon equip, search the continuous spell, and then search. You just keep going from there.
Yeah.
All right, now, Dallas brought up a couple of cards that come out later in the Pendulum era. You can tell because this card has the long art of a pendulum. But I think it's fair to mention them because they do kind of have some like vylon nostalgia vibes.
Yeah,
so this is Guiding Light and Guiding Ariadne. Though obviously I think Ariadne has also some other...
Well, Ariadne is a meta-defining card because it has a very dumb effect.
Well, yeah, it's a counter fairy.
Yeah, it just says...
But it wasn't run in counter fairies, Omega. It's a pendulum scale that lets you get free solemn judgments.
Free solemn judges, strikes, warnings,
warnings.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Any sort of trap card that makes you have to pay the life points for a card trap, this guy does.
Yeah. And I mean, I assume like the etymology is supposed to be for Guiding Ariadne is supposed to be like is it bountiful Artemis?
Yeah, it's supposed to be that thing, but
yeah, it's very much in the vibes of Bountiful.
The fingers and the shape, just the shapedness, just really got the vylon vibes in for me.
I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of like, and the additional orbs. I feel like it's a kind of like. Probably the Bountiful Artemis guy like went on to do Vylons because Bountiful Artemis is also in that vein, though it's a lot more simpler and like the art is more old school style. But like, I think it was kind of an inspiration. And then obviously Ariadne's supposed to be inspired because it's a counter fairy card. It looks a lot like a Vylon. I would argue though, this other guy, this coffin with a ring butt, Guiding Light looks also way more like a Vylon. Like, get a load of that.
Yeah. Coffin.
The Guiding Light is definitely the one I was like, okay, this is definitely a Vylon.
Yeah.
And I mean, hypothetically, it works because, well, I mean, it's for a structure deck card, I think, but it also technically has some synergy because it's a light fairy that's level 1, 0/0. When this card is normal summon, target one level 1 light monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, like, that technically is adjacent to some of the recursion type stuff that Vylons do, though. Is Sphere a machine or a fairy?
I believe it is.
It is a machine, so yeah, it doesn't actually work with Vylons, but like I said, the aesthetics are like very close, right? He's got the like sparkles and the ring behind him. I think Vylons don't even use this like baby blue color in their orbs, right? So like, other than the fact that he has no synergy at all, he could be a lost Vylon, brother.
Yeah.
I do think the light blue is also another Bountiful Artemis, but it's funny how like things go on.
Time is, as you say, a flat circle.
Yeah. Let's see. So we're at about 2:20. So that's shorter than we usually do, but we have covered the breadth of Vylons.
I'm trying to find something short.
Well, Vesper says they want to maybe take a dip. I'm trying to think. What was the second thing we brought up earlier? There was cubics and then there was Tindangle. We can probably just do those as like a double feature tomorrow. Yeah, and then that'll give us plenty of time to fail the portrayal, and we get to talk about more weird shapes.
I mean, let me just go to document for like.
I won't be here tomorrow, unfortunately, but.
I mean, you can always watch the VOD.
I don't highly. What was that?
You can always watch the VOD.
Yes, I can.
Digital Bug is only 8.
What could you see Digital Bugs? Yeah, just get
I mean, we did just open. You won't see it for like two weeks now, but we did just open that one.
Also, I've noticed that Harpies and Amazon are listed as a double feature on our list.
Mine. I mean, that might be a little long, but I feel like you should bring them up. That was when I was going on a binge of like all the famous female archetypes to talk about. And we didn't do either of those.
Gradles are like very tiny. There's not many of those.
We did talk about Gradle, but I don't think that's necessarily the best for this theme.
That's fair.
I mean, we could do Digital Bug. That's like 8 guys.
What
if you guys are like real, I mean, I'll also say if you guys are, we've been doing this for 2 hours and 20 minutes. If you guys are hot to trot for a new archetype, we don't have to.
I'm hot to do something else, or I'm hot to do more. I guess that's it.
Well, you didn't hardly talk about violence for the past like half.
Well, I didn't have much to say. Is really what it is, or I don't know.
Shapes.
What other shape archetypes are there?
So, do digital bugs all come out in one blob? Is there any?
I think we kind of mentioned them.
I think Archfiends.
We
cannot do Archfiends.
I'm saying there's too many Archfiends.
What do you think, chat? Do you wanna? No, there's actually not Magnet Warriors. There's a lot. I mean, I know there's not that many, but there's still more Magnet Warriors than you think. Because there's like there's the 4 normal guys, then there's the electromagnet versions, and then there's like two or 3 extra guys like Delta and Epsilon, plus like fusions and combo guys. That's like another 10 or 11 dudes.
There's a bunch of.
I think there's quite a few Evolzars. Well, also, actually, no, there aren't a few Evolzars, but you can't do Evolzars without talking about the other Evo.
Yeah, the problem with Evolzars is it's evil, and there's a lot more evil tiles than you think. It's just a lot of them are bad.
I mean, I think we should, if it's not on our list, we should put Evils on there, because some of those guys are weird.
Those art is so dumb.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so I'll put it on the list if it's not already. Yeah, Mark's already got Evils on here. So, yeah, that's a whole thing. But I mean, we could do Digital Bug. No, there's probably too many Hazy Flames. I understand the meme energy, but there's a lot of hazy Flames.
Yeah, there's 10 Hazy Flames with just their Bill and Trap aren't that impressive.
But we would have to talk about, is it Hazy Flame Pillar or Hazy Pillar?
It's Hazy
Pillar.
Yeah,
and Hazy Glory, which is not that.
And we'd also have to talk about Uriah.
We don't actually have to talk about Uriah. Though maybe we should. There are a few different versions. Maybe we should go back and do a Sacred Beasts. Legendary Fisher. Yeah, that would be short. There are like 4 Legendary Fishermans, but that would work.
There's also like a few. There's also like I think Sea Strike or something.
I mean, if you guys want to touch on, I'm okay with Digital Bug.
I think that requires some prep of digging for the cards that are like semi-relevant to it.
I mean, I would just like a Legendary Fisherman, and the wiki would tell me.
Okay, but we already have Digital Bug open.
I mean, I pulled it up. Nobody seems upset about Digital Bugs. Yeah, there's a few. This is so we were talking about Synchro/Xyz. Bug is an interesting one. It was not super meta because it came out at the tail end of kind of the mid to late Pendulum period.
Also, as it turns out, for Master Duel, they're just Digimon.
Well, yeah, they have lore from Master Duel, which people care about, but I think the main thing is the reason why they didn't take off was because there was just they existed as a solid like block of support. And I think I'm just gonna go down the line alphabetically.
Yeah.
Though actually, this will take me a hot second because I need to open a different source entirely for the art because they are newer. So I have to go to a different.
Give me 1 second. I need to go get some water anyway.
That's okay. I got to start prepping to like pull up the stuff because they do have Master Duel art, obviously.
Okay. Wiki just says there's an OTK with digital bug.
I mean, everything has an OTK.
It's pretty much condenser. Revive the other finger grave with defense. Attribute the condenser to activate its effect to damage your opponent. Then repeat steps 1 and 2.
To do an FTK, you can use Temple of the Kings to activate final attack orders or level limit area A the same turn it is set. God, just fucking wacky tobacco. I'm gonna close the wish list for Fail Portrayal now. But yeah, so I think the main reason why Digital Bug didn't go anywhere was because they had a problem, which is very shortly after they came out, a little bit I think after their reprints were. Links happened, and digital bugs are very important about switching battle positions, and you can't do that to links.
Yeah. Also, you know, early link format, kind of all other special summoning types.
Well, yeah, they usually rank up, so they don't need many zones, but their primary mechanic is that they do things. And they, with the defense position, and they kind of need there. Oh, and we can actually talk about how these guys technically have they did get legacy support. There was a new digital bug in Blazing Vortex, but we'll get there. So I'm just going to do these down the line in alphabetical order.
I will also say that one of the variant digital bug decks in Master Duel is my go-to to just punch against because it has Max C and it has negates in it, so it's usually my stress test of can this deck handle negates.
So this is Digital Bug Centibit. Get it? Centipede, but bit.
I will say it doesn't trigger my minor phobia of insectoids.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks a lot more like a chipset, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got not processing chips, but just general computer component chips.
If this was in Brain's era, it would be called Cybers type.
Yes, but these were
all would probably Cybers.
Honestly, though, I think that as a design, like digital bugs, there is not a huge, but I think there is a little bit of love in the community because they are so like weird and kitschy in their looks, right?
Yeah,
and
no,
they're that thing that Konami does very occasionally where they try to take types that don't have good archetypes and give them. This is a insect archetype. They are light insects. By the way, I think that these cards do actually play some of them do actually play well with Bee Trooper.
Yeah.
So like you can actually utilize them a little bit, but this was like Konami tried to make a insect archetype actually, which is pretty rare. Insectors, I believe, was the last big one they did, and that obviously was successful. But like, Digital Bug was not as cool as Insector, y'all. But I think that they did enough that you were like, this deck has spirit, this has places. Maybe they'll give it some support. Oh shit, no, Master Rule 4. Well, this deck doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But art-wise, Centibit, all of them have this kind of look. They look like, I guess you would, what is the term? Arthropods? Like, they are, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Terms, they're insect type. They are not all insects, as, you know, in case you guys forgot your kindergarten definition of an insect, it must have 6 legs. This is a centipede. It does not have 6 legs.
Yeah, 3 bullet cards.
But, yeah, it's centipede. That's also a block of chips.
Yeah.
Very clever. I like what they did with like the
I
lines.
feel like this is kind of one of those archetypes where I'm just like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, some of them I think are a little more clever than others. This one is like it's pleasing, but I don't think there's a lot to remark on.
Yeah.
So Digital Bug Centibit is a light insect, level 3, 1500 attack, 500 defense. Cannot be used as Xyz material for an Xyz summon except the Xyz summon of an insect-type monster. So you can see that they have some limitations there. Though there are a few pre-existing insect Xyzes. Once per turn, when this face-up card is changed from attack position to defense position, you can special summon one level 3 insect-type monster from your deck in defense position. An Xyz monster that was summoned using this card in the field as Xyz material gains this effect. This card can attack all defense position monsters your opponent controls once each. So as you can see, this is kind of why these guys were killed by Link format. This is a pretty decent engine. If you got a way to switch it to defense position, which there are a lot of ways to do, you can immediately make a rank 3. Just like that. He fishes a insect from deck. And arguably, if there were good insect links, which there are a couple, he also works because, remember, the only rule is that it can only be Xyz material for a Xyz link, but if you have Link 2s that advance your plays, you can do this as well. It's just mostly the fact that their effects don't really work out. I mean, if you want the classification of a centipede is a primitive arthropod, apparently.
Oh.
The class is Chilopoda, which means lipfoot. And subphylum Myriapoda, which means many-foot, which includes millipedes and other big multi-legged creatures. Latin taxonomy is fun. Actually, that reminds me, I never got to talk about this in our Discord, but I saw a fun fact the other day. Apparently, paleontologists are actually thinking that the Tyrannosaurus genus is not one species, but might be 3. So,
I think I saw something.
Yeah, so the current talks is that they're going to break it up based on size into 3 separate but closely related species: Tyrannosaurus rex, Tyrannosaurus regina, and Tyrannosaurus imperator.
That's cool.
Now they just need to make a Tyrannosaurus Imperium monster.
But it's kind of interesting to hear we kind of talk about that kind of taxonomy. A lot of people are just going to still call them T-Rexes because humans, and they're all Tyrannosauruses, and that's long.
Yeah.
But, so, I don't think there's much else to say about Centibit. This gives you the rough outline of this deck. It is a guy who makes an Xyz, and he makes Xyz better.
Yep. Each one is going to have that Xyz attach effect.
So we are going to look for the next one, which Martha already mentioned earlier, because apparently it's an FTK enabler.
Because of course it is. They have to include some sort of degenerate stuff in some archetypes.
Cocoon Dancer! So let me... Sorry, I gotta jump through a couple hoops to get the card art now. Oh, this one we might actually have not a lot, because it's not that advanced, but we might have a couple of things to say about this. So this is Cocoon Dancer. The bordering's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, another thing we should say about Digital Bug is, funnily enough, these guys were relatively low rarity as well.
Yeah. I think only like 1 or 2 of their cards are super rare.
So, yeah, Cocoon Dancer. I think it looks more like a capacitor. I saw Gavin Free of Slow-Mo Guys blow up one of these recently in super slow motion. But yeah, it's stuck on a circuit board. There's some interesting things that I think it's doing, like it's got the little antennae on the top. It's kind of interesting how, I think personally, how the screw on top is lit up, but the screw on the side isn't. It's kind of interesting. It's got kind of that light effect. What do you guys think? Like, I think this one is also aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Yeah,
very cute.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I don't know why, but I could image this as like a weird like virtual icon you'd see like floating around or something.
Yeah. Like it's got the antenna. The antenna look like they've got articulation too, so you could see it kind of like wiggle.
I can almost see this as a weird like modem attachment.
Yeah. This is your beef router.
So you attach it to the router.
Your range extender.
Yeah.
So Cocoon Denser is another level 3 light insect. This one has 0 attack, 2k defense. Beef. Cannot be used for Xyz except for an insect monster. Once per turn, if this card is in attack position, you can target one level 3 insect monster in your graveyard, change this card to defense position. If you do, special summon that monster to defense position. And an Xyz monster special summoned. If it attacks a defense position monster, your opponent's card effects can't be activated until the damage step. So it's an Armades if you attack a defense position monster. Again, you guys see the problem with this archetype, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty strong for what it does, and they have a lot of, like, easy Xyz step effects. And, like, that Armades effect is very spicy. Especially because, remember, when you rank up, normally rank up effects use all materials attached to that monster are attached as materials. So you usually keep them. So you keep all those effects.
Yeah. We'll see where this guy's effect can really get in play when we get to the level 3 Xyz.
Yeah, which I think we'll do the Xyz after the main decks, but we'll get there. I'll do them in like level order. That I'll actually organize, but the names are the best thing about this.
Yeah.
Like Scented Bit and Cocoon Denser are not the best, but this next one. I just realized my vaporwave vibes are also good for this. So this is Digital Bug LED Bug. It is capitalized.
LED.
It's got an LED display on the back. I'm not sure why it says 7, but it's there. Actually, no, it doesn't say 7. It's not at the bottom.
It's 3.
N7? Oh, it's a 3. Okay, yeah, I see. I wasn't looking at it from that angle. 3. Okay, that makes sense. They are level 3s. I mean, again, it's a ladybug. I like the LED display effect. There's not a lot else to say about this art, I don't think.
I could see a weird I could see a weird analog digital clock that is just made that is just a collection of these in a row.
Yeah, there's definitely some like kitschy tech vibes. Again, probably why this is popular. I'm not quite sure where the like circuit border effect came from, because what's his face, Centibit didn't really have it, I don't think. Or I didn't notice it with Centibit's art. But yeah, it's a little LED bug. I think this one looking more like a robotic insect, I think is like, because Centibit was very clearly, like we said, chips just strung together. This leans a little bit more on the ladybug side. But it's alright. Where were we? LED bug. Light level 3. 500 attack, 0 defense. I think all of them say they can't be used, so it's got the can't be used. Once per turn, when changed from attack to defense position, add one level 3 insect monster from your deck to your hand. And then an Xyz monster that's just summoned by this card effect gains the effect. When this card destroys a monster by battle, draw 1 card. So, yeah, I think, honestly, LED Bug is probably better to go into off of something like Centibit or Cocoon Denser. Its effect is okay, but it's slow. Like, it doesn't summon a monster, so you can't immediately Xyz, so it's different. But its attach effect is pretty good. You get to draw a card.
Yeah. Yep.
And, you know, Centibit gives you multi-attack, so I would say, you know, Centibit into LED Bug. I keep wanting to say Ladybug, but LED Bug. It's all caps. It's pretty decent. But again, the problem is the setup for that. Like, this is technically a generic effect without the defense position stuff, but still, it's the enablers are all the defense position focused, so it's a little sag. Who's just next after LED Bug? Oh, actually, that's the... So, in my alphabetical, it's the new one, so...
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this is in Master Duel, though, because it's Blazing Vortex, so I can hopefully find the card art. Again, though, the names are great.
Yeah.
Yes, so I can get it. So, this is Digital Bug Registrider. Like Register, but Strider.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for those not in the know, a register is a component that stores data. I think it can tick up and tick down.
This definitely looks like a water strider, but it also definitely actually looks like some kind of component. because it's got like the
I think I
electricity.
have taken apart circuit boards to have more.
Yeah. I'm having to go back like 8 years to the first classes I was taking when I went into the Navy. But registers I think could store like number data. Because at the core, computers can only add and subtract. Like when you get down to the deep core of how electronics work.
Yeah. But yeah, I like his little. He's got little screw eyes. That's cute. This is another one that does a very good job of like blending, looking like an electronic component and looking like a bug. Like, it clearly looks like both.
Yeah, it looks like it's got resistors, and if I really wanted to nerd out, I could figure out its resistance value. But
yeah.
That is.
I think it's a water bug.
Yeah, it's a water strider.
Water strider.
Oh yeah, no, it's a skitter
I
bug.
just got back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the violet.
Oh, Dallas, you
color.
mean you missed LED bug?
I played digital bugs for a little bit, so Which one is that LED bug?
When you destroy, you draw a card.
Oh, Ladybug, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the colors are, I think, connection numbers, which are actually connected to.
I think Ladybug is actually terrible, though.
I mean, so here's the thing. As on its own, LED bug is not good because its effect is to add when switched. When you pull it off something like a centibit and it gives you the ability to draw cards, that's not bad. It's definitely not the most optimal to like just normal. This one's pretty interesting. So this is Registrator. This one's brand new. So this is what they thought digital bugs needed after like 5 years, right?
Oh, did we go over the cutest boy yet?
Which one?
Web solder.
No, we're doing web solder at the end because that'll be W.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. So Registrator's effect can't be used to succeed, obviously. When you normal summon a level 3 insect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can make both this card and that monster level 5 or 7. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can change the battle position of one insect monster you control, and then an Xyz monster summoned with this card gains 1,000 attack and defense. So Registrator is not a field spell, but he really reeks of Konami's like field spell Band-Aid design. Like this guy does like 3 things.
He enables
Which is
all
funny
the cards.
digital bugs have a field spell.
Yeah.
Basically, he enables all the cards, and he also lets you cheat out into their actual bigger monsters.
Yes, he lets you level fix. He lets you do the battle position swap to get more guys, and then also when he's attached, he just makes your monsters even bigger. Like one K is not nothing to fuck with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he's not bad. He's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think if my brain is functioning correctly,
Look,
yes.
modern digital bug decks are a thing and a half.
Well, yeah, I talked about this earlier
Actually,
because they're type blocking. They, I believe, they play pretty well with B Trooper.
No, generally, this is a weird one. Generally, digital bugs are run with a giant ballpark.
That's also another common insect thing.
yeah,
yeah.
And what was the other one that they run with? The actual the C archetype.
Oh
The
yeah.
actual cards.
Actual
like,
C's, yeah.
I think it's like super
like shiny
armored
C?
robot arm, super armored robot armed black iron C. Yes, that is a card.
Yeah, the C concept got really weird. Like it started as just like generic tech cards that are cockroaches, and then they went like shiny armored squatter C.
It's now a cockroach sentai or something.
Yeah, it got really weird. So this is the boy that Dallas mentioned. This is Web Solder. You might think it's solder, but no, it's pronounced solder.
It's Web Solder.
Yeah, this is
He is adorable.
This is a guy that you play with the Armarties effect.
Yeah.
So this I like this because again this like looks like an arthropod. You know, it's a spider, but also it like has a function because its legs are little soldering irons, so it makes solder instead of webs. Web solder.
Like it's adorable, but because it's all like robotic, it's not terrifying at all.
This is generally
Well,
And,
Max, if you've got like mild like
I have a mild insectoid / arachnophobia.
So if this doesn't trigger that phobia, then yes, I think it does its job.
No, like I got
sufficiently
basically there is a zone in Elden Ring that is full of just giant insects, and that triggered it for me.
Fair enough. So Web Solder is our last main neck boy for now. You never know. Can't be used as exceed material, usual effect, and then once per turn, target one face-up attack position monster you control. Change it to defense position, and if you do, special summon one level 3 insect type monster from your hand.
So Omega, I have a request for a digital bug. Can we pull up their actual boss monster after we're done with their Xyz?
Well, sure, if you have something in mind. And then if you do special summon one level 3 insect type monster from your hand in defense position, hey, guess what? This is a face-up attack position monster you control. By the way, I forgot to mention it's 500 attack, 1500 defense. And then Xyz material, the defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls becomes 0, and also change them to defense position. Once again, great effect, except link monsters.
Yeah. It's
like if you can get to stack most of your digital bug guys as mats, you can do some scary shit. But if your opponent has like any link monsters, it's hard for you to get around them.
Yeah.
So now we will do their Xyz monsters.
Right.
So we will start with the rank 3.
Grr. Yeah.
Again, I love the names. The puns are so good.
Scar Radiator.
Yes. Yep, that's the small version. So this is Scaradiator. It's a scarab beetle with a radiator fan. So he is pushing that fan to cool your computer.
With his back legs, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a scarab beetle with a radiator fan. This one's a little more like esoteric, but I like it. Because it's like, it's not really the connected bits. It's a scarab with a radiator fan, but it's cool. Oops, I accidentally dropped too low. Let's make sure that's all centered. Yep. So this is their rank 3. It has 1800 attack, 1400 defense. It's a light insect, obviously. It requires 2 or more level 3 light insect monsters, so you can stack multiple materials.
I'm used to this thing being like the face of the archetype.
Yeah.
Also, I'm so used to never seeing it this high res. I always thought it was like a snail because I always thought that was like the shell.
Yeah, I know. That's actually something I wanted to bring up. No, it is not like a snail or a whistle. It is a scarab beetle that instead of pushing a ball of dung is pushing a radiator fan.
Which is like actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think everyone ever noticed that. Unless you look at
when you're looking at the image in small, it definitely looks a little weird. So once per turn, during either player's turn, so quick effect, you can detach 2 Xyz material from this card, target a monster your opponent controls, change its battle position, and if you do, it has its effects negated until the end of this turn. Once per turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to graveyard, you can attach that destroyed monster to this card as Xyz material. So, again, digital bugs are pretty decent. This is a quick effect, detach 2 and negate. You can attach multiple materials, so you can pick the 2 if you set up your combo plays right. And it's a negate. And when it destroys, you get to recycle your materials. But it has to put your opponent's monster to defense position. So it's a little rough. And then this is the next one. And this is the only one that I think the name I'm not 100% sure on. I think it's supposed to be like a bagfly.
Corbage?
Yeah, I'll check the trivia in a sec to see if I can see what it is.
On the cabbage white. Pun on the cabbage white, so that's the pun name.
So, yeah. It is that guy. Oh, okay, yeah. So because it's called the cabbage butterfly. It's a corbage butterfly. Got it.
Yeah. They just fun names are fun.
I mean, it kind of looks like that because it's got like the little chipset dots in its wings and the little lights. This guy looks a little freakier up close than I thought he would, with the giant like proboscis and the glowing X eyes.
Yeah. So this one is more insect.
Again, nature is metal.
Yeah, this guy's gonna fuck your shit up. He's gonna like siphon your data or something with that proboscis.
Also, the weirdest thing is nature is battle in this case, actually, literally.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's got some greebly bits and some glowing bits. I'm not sure what the glowing wing, like, there's some weird, like, wavy lights coming. I'm not sure about that. This guy's okay. So this is 2 or more level 5 light insect type monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by detaching 2 Xyz materials from a rank 3 or 4 insect type Xyz monster you control, and then using that monster as material. Xyz monster attached to that become materials. So I think, as you can see, this is why Registrator with its level fixing is important. You can instantly rank up, but it requires you to detach, so you need to like do a lot of stacking, or Registrator lets you just level fix. Once per turn, you can attach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 defense position monster your opponent controls, shuffle it back into the deck. Once per turn, if the battle position of a monster on the field is changed, except during the damage step, you can attach 1 insect type monster from your graveyard to this card as material, and this is a rank 5 with 2200 attack, 1800 defense. So its stats are a little low, but obviously you have ways for that. So again, Corbage, pretty spicy. It's got a shuffle effect, and then you can get materials back to like refuel it and rank up. But again, it needs that magic defense position.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I hope I'm not harping on how much this is killed by Lynx.
I still think Link should have 0 defense or be able to be popped.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, I think most of us agree.
Because I feel like that.
I mean,
really
I think the thing that makes sense is that they have to be popped because the way arrows work, you can't physically put them in defense position.
That's fair.
Yeah.
True.
But that's another conversation about whenever Konami wants to hypothetically go to Master Rule
MR
6 or technically actual MR5, because they've never called the new Master Rule 5. It's just new Master Rules.
Yeah.
It's because
whenever they release their next BSR summoning method.
So this is the last boy in the Xyz, though. I don't know where Dallas went.
I'm here.
Okay.
I just haven't had a lot to say.
You don't want to talk about the Xyz monsters?
They're bugs. Oh no, there's an Xyz monster I want to talk about because it's the
Well, you
reason
still
Synchro
haven't
bugs
said
are
what it
not
is,
relevant.
Dallas. You need to put it in the
Oh,
thing.
I'll type it in. Sorry.
Now, see, you've done your thing of saying you want to do a thing, but don't explain what the thing is.
So this is.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
right.
another very common one.
That makes sense.
There's actually, like, funnily enough, there are several insect Xyz that already existed that go with digital bugs. It's funny. But this is their... oops, we did not copy that correctly. Hold on. Let me get it again. This is their nominal boss monster, digital bug, Rhinocebus.
I can talk about this one because I know very funny trivia about this card.
We'll go ahead and talk. I mean, it's...
I know it basically became, like, the biggest thing in Duel Links.
Yeah, this card is limited in Duel Links.
That's funny.
Because of Onomat, Duel Links is hilarious. Yeah, I can't remember what the line exactly was. I think it was through Exostag to this. I just can't remember how they got to Exostag.
Makes sense, because Exostag is a 5.
Yeah, it's a 5 machine.
This thing can rank up.
5 insect, yeah. This can rank up from rank 5 or 6 insect type monsters you control.
Yeah.
So generally the play was, and Rhinobus is for Duel Links, it's a hell of a boss monster.
Do they have the rank up magic that's not a rank up magic, call a rank up magic in Duel Links?
I'll just look up old Onomat decks.
Bug Signal or something?
Yeah, there's also, they have a Bug Signal. They have a bug card that is
like his weird Astro Phoenix decks.
So, yeah, Rhinocebus it's a rhinoceros beetle. I should look up sometime. I don't know why Japan is so, like, keen on rhinoceros and, like, Hercules beetles. I think that they're cool, but, like, I'm not sure what it was that in Japan got so culturally important about those. I should look that up sometime.
It's a weird childhood thing of, like, those are, like, the beetles you use to fight each other.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, those are not native to Japan.
Yeah.
Oh. It just seems like a thing that's ever, like, from, like, the 60s.
I know why it's there, but... Oh, actually, no, hold on. There is a Japanese rhinoceros beetle, or Japanese horned beetle. Okay, I didn't know that.
I mean, like, there's also, like, a Pokemon based off it, so you see it's, like, some natural cultural thing.
Well, it's a big culture. So, okay, so yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, okay. I did not know that. There is also called Kabutomushi.
Right, because that's right, because the Kabuto was named after a beetle design and they had Kabuto armor for like hundreds of years.
So, distribution and habitat, present on all islands of Japan, Taiwan, Korean Peninsula, and Eastern China. Okay. All right, so I didn't know, because the rhinoceros beetle is... I mean, there's a lot of flavors, but I think the most famous ones I'm aware of are, like, the other species that are in different areas. You don't usually see them advertised as, like, an Asian species, but they are apparently from there. Okay. So that tracks. All right. I did not realize. The other part of this is just bus, as in, like, I think serial bus is probably the most likely component. You can see it's got sockets. I don't know what kind of socket those are off the top of my head in its upper horn, but it's got some sockets. It's got some capacitors. He has his own CPU fan, his own radiator. So Rhinocebus is a rank 7 light insect with 2600 attack, 2200 defense. Requires 2 or more level 7 light insect type monsters. You can also exceed summon this card by detaching blah blah blah. If this card attacks a defense position monster, it does piercing, and then once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach an exceed material, destroy all face-up monsters destroy the face-up monster you control controls with the highest defense stat. Again, links. Like, I think digital bugs are really cool, and they probably could have had, like, a second wave of support that, like, made them actually meta, as seen by, Dallas brought up. There's an engine in Duel Links that makes them.
Okay, so the line appears to be... Oh god, this is so fucky-wucky. The line appears to be, a Gagaga head. Oh my god, what is this effect? Okay. I'm not seeing how this gets to Rhino Bus. I don't...
Well, you just make Exostag, right?
Well, no, it's not Exostag. That's the problem.
Oh,
It's the other Injector, Exceeds.
I don't remember the name.
Exabeetle.
Exabeetle, yeah. Okay, Exabeetle.
Duel Links, what rank up magics do they have? Or is it
They
not
don't.
a rank? Oh.
Okay, I'm looking at a YouTube video from the tournament that...
I mean, so technically there is, I don't know if Duel Links has it, but there is Marth brought this up before, there is kind of, sort of, almost a digital bug rank up magic that's not called rank up magic because it's not in the anime. It's called Bug Signal. He did have that name correctly. It's a quick play that targets an Xyz insect monster you control and special summons from your extra deck one Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher or lower than that monster, using that monster as Xyz material. And then attached materials also become materials. You can only activate 1 Bug Signal per turn, but this is basically just their inherent rank up effect, but better, and also lets you play other insect Xyz because it's generic. I guess the only problem is that because it's not a rank up magic and it's not actually a digital bug card, it is not searchable.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, here's a card to help. You can't search it? Too bad.
And let's be honest, that was probably intentional.
I mean, it's already got a hard once per turn.
Okay, I'm seeing what the combo
Dallas
line
figured
is.
it out.
I'm seeing the third line. Okay, that's very, very funny. Okay, so there's a card called, oh god, it's a number card.
Oh.
Oh,
The Malevolent
fantastic.
Sin.
It's like the most popular card in all of Duel Links.
Malevolent Sin?
Yeah, number 70 Malevolent Sin, that when it attacks your... It blinks a monster. And when it attacks your opponent... No, wait, that doesn't work either. What the fuck is this line? I will go back and find this, because now it's bugging me.
Because I just remember thinking of, like, MPT always went Malevolent Sin into, I think, Exabeetle, into then Rhinobus for the kill.
Oh, okay. If you can do that, wait.
I'm not sure the Exabeetle, but, like, you always went into Malevolent Sin as part of the deck.
Well,
I
every deck
remember.
goes into Malevolent Sin. That's not new.
Well, yeah,
okay.
because Malevolent Sin is just what you make in dueling.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
so your 2
very
targets
good
are
rank 4.
the only thing you can rank up from is Corbage and then Exostag and Exabeetle.
Okay, yeah, no, the line is Exostag. I'm just not sure how the deck gets to Exostag. Either card. Oh, okay. No, I see. It's Gagaga Head and Gagaga Girl.
And then you level fix.
Yeah, no, because Gagaga or not Gagaga Girl, Gagaga Sister, the good version of that card. When you normal summon this card, you can target one other Gagaga monster you control. Level fix.
Okay, and then that makes 2 5s, and then
you can inherit special Gagaga Head. So that makes 2 6s. You go into Extra Beetle. You go into okay, that makes sense.
All right, we figured it out. There are 2 more spells. I showed you Bug Matrix earlier. That's their field spell. Again, it's technically generic. All insect-type monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. You can target one insect exceeds monster you control. Attach one insect monster from your hand as that materials. You can only use this effect of Bug Matrix once per turn. So they already had a pretty decent field spell. And again, you notice they really they realized that, like, Xyz insects exist. Dallas wants me to bring up number 3 Cicada King, who we don't need to. I don't want to show his picture on stream because someday, whenever I feel like I can get the press for it, I want to do that as our big. I'm gonna do numbers as a marathon to get subs, basically.
Would Chaos?
I'll be there.
Wait, okay, would Numerons?
Anything that contains the phrase number.
Okay, so we do Numerons and Chaos numbers at the end.
Well, Numerons are numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, Numeron gates are actually the first numbers because we would go in number order.
I mean, no, there is a very clear 2 cards to end on.
You start with number 1, and then you go until you get to number Chaos Infinity.
1,000.
Yeah. And then isn't there Chaos 10,000 or Imaginary 10,000? Whichever the biggest one is.
Yeah, C1000.
They get very large, so that's what we'll do.
So, like, I guess we wouldn't show Numeron Gate, or I guess we'll do Numerons as a separate.
Oh yeah, because
no, actually, those are all numbers.
Okay.
Do not understand how Numerons work?
Actually, the card called Numeron Gate, which is just a monster.
There's like
it's not an Xyz.
Well, Numeron Gate
it's
is
part of the Numeron stuff. Which
We're
is
not
part
going
of
to
a
do
number.
every
I mean, so we would not bring up
that
the
is not-
Numeron Gate spell card. No.
No, I think of Numeron Blocker or something.
You're thinking of Numeron Wall. It's a different
Numeron
card.
Wall.
Yeah, that's a different card. No, but that's why it was very confusing because the first 4 numbers are. By the way, actually, I mean, we could bring up Cicada King. That's technically a fake number, right? Because the real numbers 1 through 4 are the Numeron gates. Ekam, Tve, Trini, Katvari.
Yeah, all the. Yeah.
Which I assume, like, if we did the marathon, we'd show them all at once.
Yeah, the fake
Well, yeah,
numbers
you probably
are fake numbers the worst because Heartland created them.
Yeah, so I can then go ahead and pull up Cicada King's art. And I want to pull up his actual art because he's a foil. But they have, while I'm pulling that up, Digital Bugs have one more card. Technically, they have a supportive spell trap. Again, it's Bug Emergency, so it's not in their archetype, but it's close. It's a normal trap. Target 2 level 3 insect monsters. Special summon them, but their effects are negated. You can banish this card and one Xyz monster from your graveyard. The levels of all 3 level 3 insect type monsters you control currently become that banished monster's rank until the end of this turn. You can't special summon this turn except for insect type monsters. You can only activate 1 Bug Emergency per turn. So, like, again, like, Digital Bugs are probably like a second wave or third wave technically of support off from being pretty sick. It's just that the fact that they were like a year later, I think was what's the first Link set? Circuit Break?
Yeah, I think Circuit Break.
Honestly,
Or is it
what I've
Code?
noticed,
I think it's Code.
a thing that
Code
Code of the
or
Duelist.
something.
a thing that Zed mentioned is that there's not actually cards that directly just search them.
Yeah, they are that's one of those things. But that's one of those bullshit things that the wiki made up. Like, if you listen to official like OCG or even TCG press, all cards are just themes. Well, everything I've ever seen, I don't know if archetype is like an old term. Everything I've ever seen the OCG translated or the TCG referred to something in social media is all cards are just themes. So, like, Bee Trooper is a theme, Digital Bug is a theme. The wiki calls them a series because I don't know if they stole that from somewhere.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki is run by aliens.
Yeah, or if they just decided, well, we don't know what to call a bunch of cards that's not technically what the internet calls an archetype, so we'll call it just a series. Digital Bug are a theme. And yes, it was correct. It was Code of the Duelist, which was August 4th, 2017. So, yeah, it's like
I only remember that. I only remember that from what is it?
What I was trying to say.
Series Simo is doing with Ruxin.
Sealed Showdown, but
No.
or
The auction series?
The auction.
Yeah,
series,
auction, yeah. But
Interesting.
The problem with it is that the meta is hella competitive around this time, and Digital Bug is not cutting it.
Oh, you can use Bug Emergency and just Battle Loss.
My point was, like, I think that they might, one of the things that might just need is just a Rhoda of sorts.
Well, yeah, they probably need a. I mean, they have ways to add and summon from deck level 3 insects. They don't need to name check Digital Bug because all the Digital Bugs are level 3 insects, and their effects include level 3 insects and then some more.
Yeah.
So this is number 3, technically fake number 3, Cicada King. So, interestingly enough, this card didn't actually get printed until 2020. But that makes it a fairly modern boss monster for whatchamacallit.
Did they not
Digital
print
Bugs.
it because they forgot about it, or did they not?
I think it's because it was
afraid of
it was a fake number.
Yeah,
Like it was supposed to be like a faked card, and they were like, well, but it does things. So this is a rank 3. It has 1200 attack, 2500 defense, 2 level 3 monsters. If the battle position of this card is changed, which, hey, Digital Bugs do that a lot, you can special summon one insect-type monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. When a monster on the field activates its effect, you can detach one material from this card, target that monster, negate its effect, then make one insect monster on the field either gain 500 defense or change its battle position. You can only use each effect of Cicada King once per turn. So yeah, Cicada King is just a generic level 3 insect that makes your deck go burr.
And literally, Digital Bug's entire thing is generic rank 3 insects.
Like, honestly, I don't... Let me... let me see if I can figure out... Does the... I had to go back to Wikipedia because I'm melting my brain with so many tabs. But let me check if the... Number 3, Cicada King, if it says... and yeah, it has the anime version, so... Let me actually check that. To see if that's exactly the same.
Okay.
Interesting, no. So the anime version is just the negate, and then this card gains 500 defense. So, yes, I believe that Konami deliberately wrote the real-life version of Cicada King's effect to mesh with Digital Bugs. So this is, as Dallas says, their secret boss monster. It's a stealth because the anime version's effect is just the generic number effect can only be destroyed by battle with another number, and the you can detach one to negate an effect, and then this card gains 500 defense. So it's a turtling card. The special summon, the battle position, special summon effect, and the any insect monster change its battle position is new. So yeah, this is another, especially because, as I said, it is technically supposed to be a fake number. This is a Digital Bug card, and it makes sense. I mean, like, the aesthetics are different. It's got more of the Zexal, like, weird, evil, purple and gold energy shit. But, yeah, it fits the mechanics very well. So good on Konami for, like, slipping in a couple of supports. Like I said, Registrator was also, I believe, 2020. That was Blazing Vortex. Or was Vortex early 2021? I think it was 21. Still, like... They've been trying. I think, I believe people have said that B-Trooper is also, for, like, having only 2 waves of support, B-Trooper is decent. It's a decent insect package.
I mean, if it ever comes to Master Duel, it will be a broken as fuck archetype, because it searches Max C.
Well, I'm sure they would, because that's a couple sets in the future, they would probably banify Max C. Actually, does?
I don't know. It is the OCG running it, so...
Well, yeah, but the, like, leaked, The allegedly data mined ban list, I think, does actually do some TCG changes. But hold on, I have to check.
I was gonna say, yeah. Now that you mention it, this is like the second time I've heard of a data mine ban list.
Somebody posted a link to a video of it. Guys, I gotta be real. I create content on YouTube. I don't watch other people do videos about leaks or intel or patches if I can help it, because I understand how ad rev works, so they will make that video 8 minutes long for no fucking reason, and I got better shit to do.
Oh, I don't know how much I believe this ban list.
What is it?
I was
What
just
does it
curious
say?
what the alleged ban list would be.
That was what it say. As you
Okay, let me.
check it for us.
So
Easy
I
to bring
think
up.
that it's funny you mentioned the searching Max C thing. Dallas, I do believe that B Trooper, because it was a world premiere archetype in Dawn of Majesty, I do believe it has not made its way to the OCG yet.
Ooh.
So that will probably be very interesting. As you guys know, the OCG has Max C at 3 because they are... what's the way Vesper usually likes to phrase this? They're like 90% casual events. They're like store locals level, and just... you have to be less of an asshole in Japan, I guess. Or they feel less incentivized to be assholes. I don't know. The TCG takes their... We have a lot more high-level, like, regional and other, like, high-level tournaments.
Our stuff is a lot more centralized.
Yeah. So we have the upper-level tournaments, and usually you travel for those. So, like, it's like Robin says why he takes his matches so seriously in Prague. He's only here every other week, so he wants to, like, play a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think people in the TCG communities tend to go a little harder.
It's a thing of, because I think it's also because Japan's smaller, so it's like go to like a to basically go to a regional that's only like a 2-hour
Yeah,
train
I mean,
ride.
yeah.
Drive,
But
all designs,
that's going to be very
2%
interesting
both.
because Max C was also a TCG world premiere, but it's banned over here because we just it's too format warping for our likes. And we'll see then. But what you got? What do you got, Dallas?
Yeah, I'm looking. Hold on. It's ridiculous.
I've managed to do
I-
through the power of digital.
I'm already
bucks, managed
saying
to
I
add
don't
more.
believe it. With how hard this is to find, I don't believe it.
Do you want to like specify it for us, so we don't have to look at it ourselves?
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
There's like 4
YouTube
videos. There's a
I-
Twitter.
It'd
there's a
be in
Reddit
Trad Game.
post. I mean, but I'm not gonna watch the if there's only YouTube videos, then it's fake.
Yeah, if there's only YouTube videos and there's no actual leaks, it's fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
I don't trust YouTube views by themselves.
No.
Now that being said,
I don't even trust
hypothetically, I think that would make sense that if they could search Max C, they'll.
I mean, I don't
probably-
think Maxi is gonna get banned personally.
Yeah, I don't think so, huh?
No, I don't.
Yeah, no.
I
The only thing I'm seeing
certainly-
sources is just people are repeating old leaks.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
from the first maintenance, people thought there would be a new ban list because it's a new
Okay,
season.
no, okay. Here's a little thing. Oh no, well, hold on. No, never mind. That's just someone lying. It's a lying liar.
Let me check the website
But
Master Duel like meta.
certainly there are some things that should probably be.
Yeah,
Be
a
hit,
lot of the
uh,
extra. Honestly, the cards I think that are more likely to get hit are the extra deck boss monsters, like Rongo Maniad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very Fun Dragon.
Yeah.
I haven't been wrongoed. I
Block,
think
Block Dragon. I think.
someone's tried to fun dragon me once, and I think I got through it.
I hope to fuck they ban, or not ban, but put to 1 Ben 10.
I got
I
wronged.
would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
also
Rongo
think-
Bongo. What is it?
Rongo
Supreme
King.
King Starving
It
Venom
probably
is the FTK.
Oh,
and
that
Golden
card
Bird.
needs.
Yeah.
As someone
Yeah.
who is consistently OTK or not OTK, sorry, FTK'd with that card needs to go.
Yeah, that's another
Yeah.
big one. I've had that one played
if you
against
get
me a couple of
6 Dark
times.
Pendulum monsters on the field on turn 1, it is an FTK because you go Supreme King, Verte, Instant Fusion, Lyralist, activate both effects, kill.
Yeah.
No reaction, FTK.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that one attempted on me a couple of times. Everybody knows like the
I did it to a couple people in Rookie. I felt so bad.
Wait, is that from like is that Lyralist Burn?
Lyralist.
No, it's one of the. I think it's Supreme King Starving Venom copies the effect
Yeah.
of a monster,
It copies
and
the
then
effect
so
of
it
any
copies the
extra deck
effect of
monster
the
on the field
burn
or
one.
in the graveyard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
then you
Rookie-
copy.
It's
what
why
is it,
what's his face
Yeah,
Tyrant
Fusion
Neptune is
Fusion
banned. It's basically got the
Nightingale.
Tyrant
Yeah.
Neptune effect.
So Independent
That's
Nightingale is a terrible card, but its effect is deal. It's a level 1 monster.
Mhm.
Deal damage to your opponent equal to this monster's level times 500.
And I think it's the number
Yeah,
of
'cause
materials that it was used on the.
Yeah, it's a number of
Yes.
Xyz materials used in the fusion summon of this monster.
So if there
Yes.
were 5, it becomes 6 or 5.
Yeah.
But,
Usually it is a
it's-
terrible card, and the problem is, the reason why that card isn't banned and Supreme King Starving Venom is because Supreme King Starving Venom inhibits future card printing.
Yes,
Yes.
it's like
At
the
any
Tyrant
time,
Neptune problem.
Konami would have to consider, like, it. Honestly, it's a worse problem than like Maxi or anything. I think it is the most problematic card currently out. And I think the only reason it hasn't been more broken is because it's locked to pendulums. And
Yeah.
people.
But still,
usually
it's
rotate
still
pendulums.
it's a contact fusion as well. It's 2 Dark Pendulum monsters, and you contribute the 2 monsters to summon it.
No, it is by far the most broken card ever printed. Summon Sorceress is, but that card started banned, so.
I will say I have looked at Master Duel Meta, which has been a fairly reliable source of the unreleased content. They had the correct leaks for the exhibition and the upcoming solo modes and stuff.
Oh, okay. So
They don't have anything new. They haven't had anything new
Okay.
since February for the
It's fake.
exhibition.
It's
so
fake
yeah,
news.
there is no leak on the ban list. I mean,
There's
I know they said they wanted to do it aggressively. I hope they get aggressive. We're going into like the second or third month of this, and the meta really hasn't changed.
You know what card I won't ban the most? I said this earlier in Trad Games. Actually, the card I hate the most is Union Carrier. Because it's only use, as far as I'm concerned, is unfunness.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a
never
reason
seen
why
that card
they
used in a
like.
fun way.
Remember that the TCG banned Buster Sword for a little bit, and then they were like, "Oh, that's not actually the problem card. You guys are abusing Union Carrier. That's the problem. Get that shit out of here." Yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Union Carrier is the dumbest card ever printed.
I understand. I understand why they tried to make it, because unions are so weird and there's so many like not union monsters, but there are so many cards that are designed around equipping that are meant to be hard. So you just
Oh, hey, there's a pack for me in the upcoming data mine.
yes.
pack.
Allegedly we've got a
Baroness
synchro pack for Dawn of Majesty coming up.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
the
I'm gonna
Beyond-
punch the
the
Baroness.
Beyond
I'm gonna
Speed.
punch Baroness de Fleur in the face. I hate
Synchro?
cards.
I'm assuming that if they put Stardust Synchron anywhere, it's in there.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I believe the idea from what people have said from the graphics is that it's going to be a hybrid of all the like Synchro Storm and the Synchro package, the Stardust package from Dawn of Majesty, basically.
Probably gonna update this.
Yeah.
They'll probably update the Security Force pack with some new cards into it and so on.
Actually, that's
so
a
on.
good question. I don't know how they're going to do that. Yeah, because there are like 2 or 3 more
I would
security forces, but
assume
they're
that
really
they
packed.
would also trickle them out like after the new packs become defunct. I would assume that
I believe
that
our
they would
next
move
what's our
into-
next format they're saying they're going to do? It's Common Charity.
Supposedly it's Synchro.
Oh, it's going to be Synchro
Oh.
next. Oh, well, shit, I have the
Yeah,
deck for that. I
it's
just
Should I
Synchro
just-
then
should-
Fusion.
Should I just try to
supposedly.
make? I was trying to build virtual. Should I just try to make like an actual like Synchro virtual deck? Is that
Yeah,
worth it?
it's supposedly
could.
it is. The cups that they have
Could though?
announced, I don't know if these are in order, but these are the ones they have announced, are the Xyz Cup, the Synchro Cup, the Fusion Cup, and the Beginner's Classic.
Actually, no. I'll play Speedroids. I can just do that. I can do Synchro.
That's true.
So-
Also, that's going to get better. Like that, Speedroids is a deck that will only go up because it has had recent support.
Speedroids is
have a
actually a
fun
somewhat
time
rogue
paying
deck in
garbage.
Modern.
Also,
Playing
and remember, Axe, that Windwitch also got modern support. That's basically just a Speedroid adjacent deck.
The
Yeah.
problem
Oh,
is,
that's
I don't
fair.
know if I have a.
I need to go figure out how to
Synchro
perfect
deck
my
on my
Speedroid
alt.
deck. in
My
Master Duel, but yeah.
synchro deck I have in main is I will just I'll lose Gallant Granite, but I will just go ham on my synchro package and add a max
Oh,
pay.
I know
I'll
what
play
I'm
Yep Rock.
playing, and it is a deck that many people hate me for playing.
What's up?
It is called Ding Dong. Your opinion is wrong.
What's it do?
What?
What?
What
It
archetypes?
is it's Young Zing.
Ah,
Oh God!
But it is basically, I have 3 copies of Denglong, and this is dumb.
What does Denglong do
That-
again?
well,
it
I mean,
searches
we'll do a
Yang
Yang
Zing
Zing
card for
archetype
deck.
at some point, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
but
bad
hey,
design.
that would
Dallas.
take
Card
like
from deck.
Dallas.
And they have an Omni Negate, which is which is why it's called Ding Dong. Your opinion is wrong, because it's an Omni Negate.
He should be banned.
I mean, we won't talk about Young Jing for probably at least like 6
look,
months.
we're bogging down. I appreciate the Master Duel talk, but we're gonna do another one of these streams probably tomorrow. We probably will do cubics and tindangles and just do
I would
weird
like
shapes
to
and shit.
ask Omega, will you face me? I have made a thing.
Oh, okay. You wanna do some test decks? Well, we'll get off stream. I'll go get some water.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
gotta
if
log into
anyone
FGO
wanted
and
to play
stuff,
some
but
Master
yeah, we can do
Duel,
some
but,
test stuff.
I can do that
For the
but
EDO
that's
Pro.
separate.
But I want to wrap up the stream. Thank you so much for tuning into Shapes. I see quite a lot of you. These streams are usually pretty popular. I would like to once again tell you to consider while you're viewing, all of you out there, not only liking this video and subscribing to our channel, please. Like I said, when we get a little bit closer to a milestone, like to like 35 or 4, ideally like 4K, I'd love to. Well, I wouldn't love probably by the end of it, but my plan is to do some numbers bullshit.
I will be alcoholed for that stream.
I'll post up at like 8 p.m. or something and just power through. Axe, there's literally 100 of them and more.
Let me finish. Was it for 5K or 10K?
10K is the last guy. I mean, I said 10K originally because of the themes, but we don't have any sub growth, so I'm gonna softball it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know why I need views now, not power later. So unless you guys are magically gonna get me to 10K subs, if you want to see numbers, if you want to see me marathon that and probably try and drag these guys along.
Honestly, just start at 6 or 7 EST, and I'll just be the whole time. I can do it. It's easier.
Oh yeah, I would probably get started earlier and just power through.
Earlier, so I can't even go show up for Kamen Rider.
And then
are we
doing them numerically? Or
yes, it would be in the esteem of Rada's infamous starting pathetic aesthetic, where he dragged Jimbles along for 4 hours of just like
5, because
starting at 1.
Now. Also, because we talk about the effects, so it's
fuck. Some effects we wouldn't talk about, but yes, we would go down numerically and we would just die because there are even more numbers.
100.
And then we would stall at number 39.
20 something, I think.
There's a billion of them.
That's true. There'd be so many utopias. I'd probably just be like, we're not even gonna talk about all these utopias. Here's every utopia. Die.
Actually, wait, no. We would stop. Okay, so actually, wait. Here's an idea. We get to 39. Okay, so we were gonna do the Utopia, but then we decided to do Utopia stream another time.
It would have to be something like that. Like there would be so many.
Utopia Ray Victory.
There's so many. Just
lightning that's
but like, so consider dropping us a sub, telling your friends to sub, tell your friends about these streams, share these streams with your friends. I know it's a little cliched, but like seriously, it does help agitate the YouTube numbers, and I have some ideas I want to do, but I don't want to just do them for like free. So consider throwing that out there. As you can see, you can also join our channel memberships. You get access to membership badges and sick emotes like that. Yes, Utopia would probably need his own stream, as we say, his own video. That'll be a whole.
Also, because that also requires that would also be the utopic cards.
Probably, yeah.
We're not.
Some of them are numbers. We're not going to discuss this anymore. I'm wrapping up the stream. So. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, hit the bell so you all know when we get those streams. Again, we're going to probably do another one of these tomorrow unless I'm like dead of something. So
should be fine.
Juice up.
I'm half there.
And consider, like I said, joining our channel membership. That gives us the cashola. Consider your super chats and your super thanks during the streams. Get little shout outs, have fun. It's cool, supports us. We also have a Patreon. You can check that out. You can get access to prog videos early when they are being filmed. And also get access to other stuff, and it really helps support us. And I'm definitely not saying this because I blew $80 on No Odysseus. So, hey. Anyway, I think that's everything. If you guys aren't gonna yell anything else on that the stream needs to hear, I'm gonna wrap it up here.
Bye.
I was gonna say, I just realized that how many alt arts does Utopia have?
Oh my god, no, don't even.
It's like 4.
Don't even. That's like the Blue Eyes stream where we need to like half the stream will just be how many different times did Kaz draw Blue Eyes. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
No, it's not nearly that bad. It only has